Alright, welcome back to the party, everybody. This is Morty, and I am your host, Sludge, aka the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Everybody hit that like and subscribe. You know I would do it for you, and let's party! Big shout out to the replay gang. Thank you so much for coming back to watch this, even though you missed the live party. Guys, that is the best part, so make sure you are here every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Eastern, and sometimes whenever I feel like it, so hit that subscribe, ring the bell, and you will never miss an Indian Jesus live party ever again. If you'd like to support the channel, head over to theindianjesus.com to get your very own official merch. Only at theindianjesus.com. All right. I am excited. We got an interesting show for you today. Something that I bet you did not expect. I was talking about it earlier in the week, or I don't know, maybe it was last week, but whatever. But the notion that let's just say groups and spaces are being encroached by people who don't really belong there. And so mainly this week, it's been a lot about Christianity and, is the Nala girl for real, or is she, all that stuff. But I want to go back a little bit, and she's actually part of this. But shout out to Lauren Chen and Amala Ekpunobi. I always get her name wrong. Oh, there we got Morty there. Come on up, buddy. There's the co-host. And they had a very interesting discussion about they messing me up, Jay. They had a very interesting discussion about feminism and how feminism has abandoned women for men, and obviously talking about the context of LGBT. And so I definitely wanted to check that out. Two based women speaking about feminism. I thought it would be interesting. Welcome to the party. Yeah, no, we're not going to be running your ears that way. Unfortunately, it's not loud enough, but we going to do what we going to do. As always, if you cannot hear the video, please do let me know.
So, Dylan, he's decided that he's going to break into the world of, I guess, pop music. And for people who are not familiar with Dylan's background, Dylan actually, please, YouTube, be kind. Dylan actually has a background.
That's a man.
In theater.
Yes, we are talking about Dylan Mulvaney.
So I guess this isn't quite an unthinkable switch, but I mean, I have my own opinion that this is all just kind of for, I guess, the fame. Dylan's, you can see Dylan's TikTok page. This is hard. Okay, usually when I'm making a video about Dylan, I can have my editor cut out all of the okay, we're live.
Yeah, we struggle streaming. Shout out to Pitts Take. Welcome to the party. Oh yeah, we right now have the poll going. Did feminism ever have value? Let me know in the comments below. Welcome to the party, guys. Hey, we got M169 in the building. How we doing?
Be on point, Lauren. Okay, so Dylan, before Dylan became, the
Wait, really? Is that what you're saying, Jay? Is there something going on? Hold on. Literally everything of, let's try this. How's this? Talk to me. What's happening? I can't hear it the way you're hearing it, so tell me what's happening. Okay, well, I'm just gonna keep. All right. Well, I'm just gonna keep going. You guys tell me.
Of Days of Girlhood, Dylan had a project where Dylan was trying to talk about animals, talk about gay culture. None of that stuck. Dylan comes out with this girlhood thing, rockets to fame. So I mean, people like me were kind of thinking, okay, was this maybe just trying to get attention?
All right, let's do this. So actually, I'm gonna play the video. I'm gonna play I don't know what happened. I went on to Little Miss Jacob's channel. My Stream Deck stopped working. My mic wasn't working. Now my Chromebook's not working. My my site for getting video clips is not working. The universe is effing with me. So I'm gonna play the video, and I'm gonna start. I'm gonna talk, and tell me when we're good. All right, so we're gonna try.
Never stuck. Apparently, there's a trans thing, so Dylan is going with it.
All right, so how are we here?
Yeah, now we have.
So this is one. This is one. It's great. Let me. Test, test, test. Test, test, test. How's that? Okay. All right. Okay. So the video was down a little. All right. All right. Okay. All right. All right. Let's dive back in here. Let's try this. That's how it goes. But yeah, shout out to Dylan Mulvaney. Really had to just milk every little thing he could out of Days of Girlhood and came out with a music video. A music video. Now, obviously, we're not going to be watching the entire music video, but... Nobody saw that. Yeah, so just keep me... we're trying this one more time, guys, and I'm dead serious. I'm not in the mood for this. So, all right, let's share screen. Yes, no?
Yeah.
Sound on video, sound on me. Sound on video, sound on me. Sound on video, sound on me. Give me good sound, give me good mic. If this doesn't work, honestly, guys, I'm just gonna go to bed. Are we good? All right. There we go. We still don't have a goddamn stream deck, but we will make it. Thank you. All right, thank you for sticking with me, guys. All right, let's do this.
Going with it. I don't know, but yeah, now we have
thank you,
Days of Girlhood. And there's like obviously male leg.
Walk of shame.
Yeah.
So they are a little she sounds a little grainy. That's just a video. Ooh, I have an idea.
Ring the alarms immediately. We have
Ooh,
a code pink.
yeah, I'm such a girl.
Calling women of all ages, girls like me. Gotta learn the basics. Glass look quick, change, sip champagne.
Okay, so that's that.
Yeah.
Chat's not happy. So, what are your thoughts? Is Dylan
Did you wish that the sound of the video never came back in?
on the new Ariana Grande? I mean, I personally dislike the song basically on all levels, musically, lyrically, but I want to know your thoughts.
Yeah, I think interestingly enough, Dylan has struck a specific chord here, and it's a song that both the left and the right can agree is awful and really poorly written, maybe for different reasons. A lot of left-leaning people are saying, you know what, I support Dylan and the journey for transness and all of these different things, but this song is just objectively not good. And of course, people on the right and, you know, more rational thinking people when it comes to Dylan's cultural impacts are looking at the fact that this is such a blatantly misogynistically written song that sort of paints a caricature of what it means to be a woman.
Yeah, and I think this is a perfect, you know, kind of full circle moment for feminism to have not started, but I mean this latest leg, let's say, starting with you know, all this LGBT stuff, and then Dylan Mulvaney capitalizing on it with his TikTok, getting famous, going to the White House, and then, you know, Bud Light, and crashes an industry, and then has to just ducktail it with a song, and hopefully that ties a bow on normal people being allowed, number one, being able to see that this is ridiculous, and number two, feeling comfortable to be able to say, hey, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, and that's what I...
Hey, shout out to Garrett Grant in the building. Welcome to the party.
I mean, obviously, Dylan's content, not a fan of it, but when I was listening to the lyrics for the first time, I could not believe just how superficial the emphasis on girlhood is. I mean, we're talking about like material shopping, meds, walk of shame. It's like, really? This is what you've learned about like being a woman?
Yeah, but it makes total sense.
But we're the misogynists.
Because if you are can I say, a biological male looking at the experience of a woman from the outside, from this sort of you're not in the club perspective. This is probably exactly what you would glean from the culture that you're watching right now in relation to femininity and womanhood. So I actually said I like this song in that it is so blatantly clear that this was created with a masculine male energy and not the energy of true femininity or girlhood.
Yep.
Yeah, and I mean, it's not been received well, at least on YouTube. Anytime I talk about Dylan, I always try to preface for people watching that, by the way, Dylan is a TikToker. So I know a lot of people were saying like, oh, this is a flop. It doesn't have that many views.
Well, let me ask you guys. This is from 3 weeks ago. Put a 1 in the chat if you knew that. Yeah, see, Maz, it is what it is. I'm going to have to fix it. Put a 1 in the chat if you knew that this was even a song. Put a 1 in the chat if you knew that this was even a song. Because if you didn't, then that is a very good thing. That Dylan Mulvaney can come out with content and you have no idea. That means we're moving in the right direction.
Like most of Dylan's views and followers are on TikTok, so totally different platform, but at least on YouTube, I mean, downvotes, 104,000 downvotes to 10,000 upvotes, comments are turned off. What are leftists say? I actually hadn't heard many left-wing people talking about it. Why don't they like it?
Well, they're saying that this is just an objectively bad song, and I think they are making a movement against TikTokers just ushering themselves into the music industry, which seems to happen. People will gain millions of followers, and then suddenly a song is out. They're defending the messaging behind the song and essentially saying that this is Dylan expressing Dylan's experience, and we should respect that and at least give voice to that, but this song is just not.
Yeah, so Garrett said kinda, and Pitt said only because other people heard about it. Oh, okay, all right. So I guess it's getting out there. I had no idea. But clearly, it's not the same thing as the Bud Light advertisement. Certainly, it's not the same thing as the TikTok series. And so shout out to Guamtech, who has been who put something in my head the last week. I think it was last week that has really stuck with me. That some of these things, it's just like, dude, you're right. There's no way that you can be wrong about that. Just let it happen. Instead of forcing people to say, yes, I agree with you, just let yourself be right. And so I think Dylan Mulvaney is a perfect example of that, as we see that people are not buying it. People are not buying it. Even if they are saying, oh, it's not a good song, just because it's not a good song, because of the fact that it's Dylan Mulvaney, that's already a move in the right direction.
Not good.
No, okay, yeah, I feel like that is a criticism that should transcend political boundaries. But it's frustrating because I'm someone who I'm a girly girl. I'm a girl's girl. Love everything about being, female. But I also notice anytime there is a celebrity who leans into femininity, she's often met with extra criticism from the left.
Hashtag Sydney Sweeney. Again, moving in the right direction. Just a feminine woman being ogled by men. Hey, we all about it.
So I can only imagine if Dylan was female, I feel like leftists would actually, yes, have a problem with this. Like the idea of pushing even that airheaded stereotype. That's something that, like the bimbo aesthetic. I did a video about that a while ago. A lot of feminists are mad about that. That's basically Dylan's entire persona.
Yeah, and it's one thing if you are a woman and you are pushing those types of things because you are those things, then it's like, well, by the transit of property, you are a woman, so the things that you do are womanly. But if you're doing those because you saw other women doing it, and it's like, well, that's not representative. You could be, if you're some ditzy girl and you just want to put yourself out there as a ditzy girl, it is what it is. But this is not that. And it's finally starting to come through that, hey, these are different. Maybe a trans man isn't a man.
But for some reason, it's actually okay because Dylan's trans. It does not compute.
Right. I guess for them, what comes before the actual messaging or the substance of what somebody's saying is their identity. And you can cancel out criticism that you should very well receive for the things that you're doing by being a member of the marginalized identity. You can't criticize Black people. You can't criticize trans people. They first take a scan of the person to see how oppressed is this individual before I can levy criticism towards them. And Dylan has the oppression points that I think cancel out what is really valid criticism of the things that Dylan's creating.
Right. So, and again, guys, if you are new here and you want to just watch this video without my commentary, you don't know how YouTube works, this is my channel. So the link for this is in the description. I am not in it. But again, I just want to underline that. A month ago, 5 months ago, whenever this was going on, I would have felt so obligated to come out and be like, oh no, Dylan Mulvaney's doing this again, and people are listening, this is moving over the window, and da. But it's not. It's not. And so I'm just sitting back like, yeah, buddy, I was right. We knew it.
Yeah, and this is something that, so for people who don't keep up with Lady Gaga, Lady Gaga recently featured Dylan in a post about International Women's Day, and basically kind of made the whole thing about trans rights, which is interesting because obviously Lady Gaga, a lot of left-leaning followers, she's been like very vocally pro-LGBT really from the start of her career. I mean, she did like an entire album, Born This Way. So like very, very left-leaning supporters. But I was interested because I noticed even going through the comments, it seemed like a lot of people who are pro-LGBT, who love Lady Gaga, still weren't necessarily happy with the fact that something like International Women's Day now becomes all about trans rights. And when I look at the broader feminist movement, I feel like that's what's happening too.
And again, I want to tie this to other, not just feminism, because, you know, I'm not a woman. I'm not a woman. I think feminism's stupid anyway, along with 64% of you. But again, it's other things too. And so most recently, we've seen Christianity going through the same thing, where it's like, oh, I'm a Christian now. I'm Nala, and I'm a Christian now. I'm doing the things that that I see other. I'm telling you that I'm doing the things that other Christians are doing. So I'm a Christian, right? That's how it works. Shout out to Nick Luchetti in the building. Welcome to the party. Good to see you. And, you know, something they'll talk about it and I'll bring it up again, but there's a huge blind spot that I had all along when we were talking about Nala that I just missed. I'll bring it up when it comes up. Again, guys, if you have not already, please do hit that like button.
Like basically feminism has been almost entirely at this point co-opted by the trans issue. If I look at like 2016 era feminism, like, you know, talking about the wage gap, not that I support it, but like this is what the feminists were pushing. Let's talk about the wage gap. Let's talk about abortion. They're still bringing that up, but now we can no longer really say it's a woman's issue because everybody
birthing persons
gets pregnant. And it just now it feels like it's almost trans. Like trans women are women. Let's talk about locker room access. And it's like, okay, but what about like concerns for biological women? Because these are not shared interests necessarily.
Oh yeah, 100%. I feel like what they do is they pick a victim for the moment of whatever movement they're running with, and that becomes the direct 100% highlight of every single subject matter that they talk about. And if you're a feminist who's truly looking at the foundation of feminism, which is the fact that men and women are very different, although they deserve to be treated equally, this all sort of flies in the face of that. And if you can allow what are biological men to now identify as women, what is feminism after that? And people are sort of grappling with that question and realizing, can I no longer associate with this movement that I once appreciated and supported? And I think that's where we're going to see the deviation.
Sound familiar? Listen to that again, but instead of her talking about feminism, she's talking about Christianity.
That and people what are appreciated and supported, realizing, can I no longer associate with this movement that I once appreciated and supported? And I think that's where we're going to see the deviation. It's much like what we did with race.
It's definitely much like race. But again, as somebody who's not a Christian, but does have a reverence for Christian values, I'm with you guys. For the time being, I do think Christianity is something that we need. I do think that there's too many people who have the mindset of asking me, well, if you don't believe in God, why aren't you murdering people all over the place? Well, that's projection for sure. And if you're projecting that, I definitely want you to believe in the man in the sky. So I don't want Christianity to be watered down to the place where there's no moral foundation. We need to create the moral foundation first and then water down Christianity. And if you happen to be a good Christian in your own home, in your own community, your own whatever, great. But we need the social foundation first.
Black people became the victim of the time, and instead of making it sort of an all-encompassing movement for people of color, it was surely focused on Black Lives Matter, Black people this, George Floyd that. And then you have, you know, Asians, Hispanics, Native Americans raising their hands and going, wait a minute, I thought we were all working together towards some sort of collective movement of equality. And again, that split occurs and people start to trail off and recognize that maybe leftism is not what it was made out to be to them, and they're leaving. So I think that's exactly what's going to happen with feminism. Now you see these TERFs, these trans exclusionary radical feminists, which I'm sure you're often referred to as am I. Yeah. We're going to see more of those.
And so again, to parallel this with what we're seeing all over the place, the boundaries of whatever it is, especially something that you hold in high regard. If something is sacred, then protecting the boundaries as to what defines that thing is the only way to keep it sacred, because that's what differentiates it from everything else that is not sacred.
And it's like that's how I feel about, watching J.K. Rowling's journey kind of unfold, because J.K. Rowling, she is progressive. She is a leftist. Like, let's all remember, she's the Dumbledore's actually gay woman. Maybe Hermione really is black. Like, she is so on board with the progressive agenda. She is a feminist. But at the same time, a lot of progressives hate her now because she believes in biological sex, and she's been smeared as transphobic, which I think is unfair. She has said multiple times, identify however you want. I support you, but it's just when it comes to things like she stood up for women who have been fired for stating that biological sex is real. She supports women's only spaces. Like, that for some reason is like the thing that's worth canceling people for, even amongst other leftists. This is why leftists are now boycotting like anything new Harry Potter, because it's associated with her. Really quick, super chat from Curtis. Hi, Lauren and Amala. Love both your channels. Modern feminism is anti-female. Thank you so much. And by the way, for people watching, definitely any questions you have for Amala, feel free to send them in. This is live, and I am doing my best to keep an eye on the chat. But yeah, I mean, I'm kind of hopeful that we've almost reached a point in terms of like accelerationism where it's just getting so ridiculous, it's getting so outlandish that people are finally starting to wake up, even if they're still leftists.
Bingo. Same thing. All over the place. These ideologies, whatever it is, whether it's gender ideology, whether it's racism, whether it's any of these things, socialism. I don't know if you guys saw the recent clip with what's that guy? I want to say Richard Wolff. Or, oh man, what was it? Hold on, we gotta find it. It was so funny. I think I saw it on Twitter, actually. Socialist. Chewing my DMs, yo. PS5.
Question to you, Professor Wolff. Under your system of worker cooperatives, would I still get my PlayStation 5?
So I forget what he said his name, but so this is a socialist Marxist professor, intellectual academic guy, and he's being asked here, under your idea of socialism, would I still get my PS5?
Final question to you, Professor Wolff.
Richard, I think it's Richard.
Under your system of worker cooperatives, would I still get my PlayStation 5?
Absolutely. You'd have to struggle a little bit for it. You'd have to talk to your fellow workers. You'd have to talk about the distribution of income. You'd have to compare your desire for PlayStation against all the other interests of all the other people. It wouldn't be something you worked out on your own with your particular boss in any way. It would have to be a democratic decision.
And look at the chat going.
You have to come to terms with that the way you do with democratic decisions now in our society, to the extent.
And at that point, he's just rambling because he realizes, that's a loss. I cannot answer that question in a way that anybody is going to appreciate. And so I think people are starting to wake up. People are starting to realize things are not working. And the problem is, as much as that's a good thing, the problem is, again, if we don't have something to replace it, then it's just going to be the leftist hedonists that they fall into. And even as they're talking about, this version of leftism isn't exactly working for me. Well, okay, but then you're just going to move to something else that's more focused on happiness and less things on the actual values that we actually want to focus on.
At least to the dangers of this like wokeism that's being pushed. I mean, I follow a lot of makeup accounts. I've talked about this before. I unfollow brands now that have men in makeup just because it's clearly pandering. I mean, yeah, if a man wears makeup, he's allowed to do that. But let's be real. This is like 0.0.
Ladies, how common is that? How common is that? I just because obviously I'm not getting makeup advertisements, but how common is it to see men in the advertisements for makeup? I'm just curious.
1% of their customer base. The only reason they have for featuring these men on social media so much with makeup, it's a virtue signal to say that we're on board with the current thing. Like it's not like there's a huge market of men who are wearing makeup they're hoping to tap into. I look at the comments. There are a lot of women who are saying, okay, I support current thing, but this is kind of ridiculous. Like, can some things just be for women? And it seems like it's almost like a reverse patriarchy where we've once again ended up with men being heralded as the best in whatever, even if it's in the name of feminism.
So Amala says very common, and it's so off-putting. I can't imagine. What would be the analog? So, something like, maybe if we're talking, what's the stereotypical men stuff, like a barbecue or tools or car parts, and like usually if they're gonna put women in that that type of ad campaign, it's gonna be, sex sells type of stuff. But if you have some girl being like, I use this drill all the time. Do you though?
100%. I'm looking at things like now and saying, what do you mean? No, it's seemingly like nobody does womanhood like a biological man. It's really insane. And I feel like women are realizing, oh, wait a minute, we had a little piece of land. We had a bit of territory, and now that territory is being encroached on, and I no longer feel comfortable with this, even though women are largely responsible for ushering these movements in and allowing them to sort of flourish. But I think they're getting out of hand, and we're realizing that we are maybe overcorrecting for the wrongs of our history, and there's going to be some pushback. I was amazed by the amount of young, liberal, and left-leaning women that I saw talking about Dylan Mulvaney's video on TikTok and saying, wait a minute, I'm rocking with Dylan, but this song is giving a really wrong message to me, and I don't think I support this anymore.
And that's all we need, guys. That's all we need is people to have the balls to stand up and stand on business and to say what you believe in. And and a lot of times it's just seeing that other people also hold this belief. It's like, wait, I've been thinking that. You think that too? It's okay to think this? Yeah, it is.
Right. And I mean, I just like,
I said, the thing that comes to mind is women not shaving their pits. Yeah, not my favorite.
I'm of the opinion, maybe don't interrupt your enemy when they're making mistakes. But I also have people who, anytime I cover Dylan, they'll say, you're the one who's like making this an issue, like blah, blah, blah. I don't think some people understand how big Dylan's influence on something like TikTok is, because they may not be on TikTok. But I said in my video when I covered his song when it was first released, like if I had the power to catapult anybody like into the millions of followers realm, I would use it for me, not for Dylan. So it's like, let's put things into perspective. Dylan doesn't need right-wing pundits.
I thought she was gonna say if I could use my power stick to yeet anyone off the internet, it would be Dylan, and I would be like based.
For popularity, the algorithm, the mainstream media, they're happy to give that to Dylan as is. But let's stay on the topic of women, especially young women, a little bit in general. Have you been on the Whatever podcast?
I did go on the Whatever podcast once. Yeah, it was an interesting experience.
How was it? I haven't seen your episode yet, but I'm definitely going to check it out now. What did you think of it? I know
I have. Do any of you guys actually watch the Whatever podcast? Like we've all seen the clips. We've all seen clips here and there and whatever. But I don't they do like 5-6 hour streams? I have no idea who the audience is for these 6 hour long streams of the same conversation over and over and over again. And at least on Fresh and Fit, Myron is like, a clown, and he's, not dancing around, but he's animated and everything. But like, Brian's just like, okay, so, well, why, should men get married if, 80% of marriages, or divorces, or, you know what I mean? Like, come on. Shout out to Indie Film. Welcome to the party. Good to see ya. Yeah, who watches that shit?
No, I've been on it once. I had never met an actual sex worker before, before appearing on that show. And I know it's been kind of criticized as misogynistic because of the women that Brian, who's the host, chooses to feature. To that, I have to say, well, he's also had, he's had you on, he's had me on, he's had Candace Owens on. Like, there is an attempt to try to have, both sides of issues. But obviously, there are a lot of, OnlyFans girls out there. What would you say?
I'm not claiming that motherfucker. I'm not claiming. He's one of y'all. Y'all are the Christians. I'm not the one in any group with him. You are in a group with him, not me. Pitsake says those podcasts are a bunch of single people talking about relationships. That's a good point. I mean, they will have, the married person in there one time. But yeah, typically it's just, I don't get it.
To, I guess, the idea that it's actually podcasts like that that are exacerbating gender issues, because I kind of see it as just like a symptom of the problem.
I agree. Let's do put a 1 in the chat if you think the whatever podcast specifically. Let's not even talk about Fresh and Fit. The whatever podcast specifically. Do you think that whatever podcast is helping to destroy the dating landscape, or do you think because the dating landscape was destroyed, we get things like the whatever podcast?
Brian is not creating this hookup culture just by shining a light on it.
Yeah, I mean, the first time that I went on, or the one time that I went on whatever podcast, it was sort of at the beginning where he was starting, I think, to recognize that it would be great to have opposing people on there and to go head to head with each other. I didn't really have any sex workers on the panel that I was on, so it was really probably a pretty lackluster episode.
Vanilla.
Yeah, I think what he's done is he's found something similar to what Fresh and Fit and maybe the Andrew Tates of the world found. They recognize what is a pretty big societal issue, and they've decided to put a microscope on it and give that to an audience.
I agree, and I would put Andrew Tate in that same category. That it's a reflection, just like Donald Trump is a reflection of the political landscape. It's not that Donald Trump decided to run for president, and now all of these people came out of the woodwork and started caring about this, that, and the other. No. People already cared about this stuff, and Trump was just the one to have the balls to stand on business.
I don't know that it's particularly impactful as far as changing people's minds and leading people to the right direction. I feel like it's more of an entertainment type of podcast where people get to watch conflict play out. And
that being said, as much the last stream we were talking all kinds of shit about Fresh and Fresh and Fit the podcast, and as much as I will continue to do so and treat them as the clowns that they are, I can't say that I didn't learn anything from their program. But the thing about that is that was a blind spot that I had. It's not some magical deep knowledge that they had. I was just the dumbass who didn't know that 2 + 2 = 4. It's not that they're like, hey, 2 + 2 = 4. And it's like, wow, oh my goodness. How did you even come up with that? And in fact, Fresh is actually the one who decided 2 + 2 = 4. Dumbass.
He just managed to hack that, much like the Fresh and Fits of the world have.
Yeah, and I feel like okay, so Fresh and Fit, they're the ones in Miami, right? Because there's also Abba and Preach, who I think are Canadian.
Shout out to Abba and Preach.
I'm trying to familiarize myself with some of these people because it's not necessarily content that I'm drawn to, but I feel like in a lot of ways this whole red pill thing, it's becoming like the next thing online.
Well, and even though this is 3 weeks old, this is still a super late take, and fair enough, she's a married woman who doesn't, have any business in that space. But I mean, this is the very tail end of the red pill, and as much as people will say like, oh, Evan Preach aren't red pill, I agree, but they're definitely red pill adjacent. They're covering, they must have 50 videos on Fresh and Fit, and I've enjoyed every single one of them. But that's not red pill. There's the idea, there's the core of, we're going to tell you the red pill truth. We're going to speak to women and show you the red pill truth. And then there's talking about those ideas. I think that's all in the manosphere. As much as I hate that term and as loose as that has become, I think, they are part of it.
Like, online culture I find is very cyclical. Before 2016 and like 2014, I feel like atheism was like the big thing. This is probably before your time, but online atheism was like huge.
Yeah, and it was huge, which is a big reason why you saw a lot of those, again, militant atheists, because there was a lot of content of people similar to how when we were coming out, we've recently talked about, like, with the Ben Shapiro and Candace Owens thing, about how Ben doesn't realize that his audience has matured past him. That when we started watching him, we were in college or even younger, and he was dunking on college kids, so we thought it was the greatest thing ever. But now that we're in our 30s and later, it's like, all right, well, I mean, you got good ideas and you speak well, but like, maybe I overestimated what you had. And but at the time, it's just I'd never heard anybody give these quick, snappy answers to the religious questions, and so the online atheism really bolstered how much, again, people felt comfortable speaking out against Christianity.
Then it kind of became like SJW, like feminism stuff. Now I almost feel like we're moving past that, and it's all of this like red pill culture stuff.
So we did move into the red pill culture after that. I think I really don't know. I think there is definitely going to be an evolution of dating content, especially the new drizzle stuff. I guarantee you that's going to kick back up a lot of conversations with that. Have you guys seen drizzle? Let's see.
We dumb.
All right, guys. 2024 is the soft guy era.
Hey, listen, fellas. We done with the whole masculine provider male era. We're in our soft guy era, okay?
You wanted equality.
Drizzle. Listen, I don't know who need to hear this, but until that woman asks you to be her husband, you don't have to do husband-like things. Stop giving these women husband advantages and amenities, and you're still a boyfriend.
Yep.
Until that ring is on your finger, you shouldn't be doing anything.
Yep.
Period. Drizzle. Like, y'all be so caught up on getting with Dusties and all that. You need to start going after their moms. See, I know a lot of y'all think that older women may not be that much attractive or whatever the case may be, but there's a lot of good looking older women.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like you guys can deal with these older women who's going to take care of you and treat you like a king that you are. Drizzle. Now, there's a point where as a man in your soft guy era, you shouldn't be pumping your own gas. You shouldn't be cleaning out your car. You shouldn't be having to change your tires. You shouldn't be having to have to put air in your tires. You shouldn't have to mow the grass. That's all the responsibilities of your woman.
We are the kings, okay? I'm a soft guy. I'm in my soft guy era. If you're not gonna change my tires, you better cash at me enough to get an oil change. And to Uber back so I don't gotta wait.
The moment you become a husband, then things change. But until then, that woman should be taking care of everything, and you shouldn't be showing her no reason on why she should stick with you for the rest of her life. And in hopes that she makes you her husband. Drizzle.
Now, ladies, if you're getting mad at that, I mean, it's just giving broke. If you're broke, it's okay. Just tell us you're broke. But don't hate.
You need to stop giving out so much to these women. Like, y'all giving up
drizzle
quick as hell, and y'all dropping it off, and these women are not appreciating it. I think you need to hold out. Even if you had sex with 100, 200 women, you need to hold out and make that woman wait until she shows you that she's capable and that she's loving enough for you to give your body to her. You know, because at the end of the day, it's all about us. It's all about us. We just want our equal rights as men. So,
soft guy era. So obviously this is, tongue in cheek, but it's a whole movement. There's so many videos. Let me find one more that I saw that was there was a woman reacting, and it was so funny. But I just think it's so perfect that we see, we were talking about culture jamming. It's so perfect to see.
Is that a Cash App tag?
It's a new generation of men, so are.
To be able to see that these types of memes, again, a meme being not necessarily just a box with text, but something that carries a big idea very far, very easily. And this notion of, sprinkle, I'm a 10, you gotta do this, I'm not doing that, you gotta set the date, you gotta do all of this. And while in the same breath talking about feminism and we're equal and and all of this stuff, I'm making so much money and da. It's not really that men are saying, okay, well, you have to pay me to go out with me. Obviously not. But we're just shining a light on the ridiculousness, and this is the type of reaction.
Read. So feminine.
Read.
Drizzle. I thought they were talking about Drake. It doesn't stick as good as sprinkle.
You're
Sound like
salty.
you're actually drooling.
You're salty.
Hey, shout out to Quam Tech. Welcome to the party, brother.
You're salty.
Okay.
Wait, I'm gonna rewind this just for you, because I know you don't know about no drizzle. So if you're not familiar with Sprinkle, that was the girl version of if you didn't plan the date and send me a cash app to get ready and Uber me and this and that, then I'm not even going on the date. Sprinkle. This is from the soft guy era. Hashtag drizzle.
Is that a Cash App tag?
It's giving broke.
Read. So feminine.
Read.
Drizzle. I thought they was talking about Drake. It doesn't stick as good as sprinkle though.
You're
Sound like
salty.
you're actually drooling.
You mad?
Salty.
Look how mad she is.
Okay. Sound like you drooling. Sound like your water bill about to get cut off.
Imagine.
Projection. Oh, what? Projection. I'm a king, okay? My bills get paid. If your bill's about to get turned off, that's your problem.
Is that a fake Louis cup? Wait, so you're telling me the Sprinkle lady is taking Cash App donations from her stream? That is modern day poverty. Now, anyone that supports the Sprinkle movement, I'm gonna assume you're broke. The leader has a Cash App tag for donations. That's a bad look. She was so hurt, heart full of hatred. She said, drizzle doesn't sound as good as sprinkle. Are we like in the 9th grade? Literally. Shut up, bitch. Also, by the way, whoever your eyebrow lady is, fire her immediately.
So I mean, again, tongue in cheek, but it has a very what's the word I'm looking for? A very solid message. It's like, look, we're not saying that that us men are not willing to be in that role. What we are saying is slow your fucking roll. You're taking this way too far. Once not said, have me for just a second, but I see why the response was needed. I mean, I'm willing to take it. I'm not dating anyway, so I am definitely willing to take this as far as it needs to go. So, going back to the video here, when Lauren is saying it looks like the red pill stuff is bubbling up. Certainly, I mean, Kevin Samuels died like two years ago almost. Maybe I don't even remember. And that was essentially the end, the beginning of the end. So she's not right in that sense, but there's still that stuff going on. And that, again, I'm telling you guys, culture is happening on TikTok.
Like SJW, like feminism stuff. Now I almost feel like we're moving past that, and it's all of this like red pill culture stuff. And I feel like I'm very much like an outsider looking in on that. But what worries me isn't necessarily that these women who are sex workers, very promiscuous, or even the men themselves. Like I think Fresh and Fit and Abba and Preach, like these are men who don't just critique hookup culture, but they engage in it. Like they're not
getting it in.
Like it may not be pro-feminism, but it's certainly not pro-conservative, or like
not pro-feminism, but certainly not pro-conservative. I'd say that's fair. I'd just say in general, at least specifically talking about Abba and Preach, they're just apolitical. Like they obviously have political leanings as people, but that's not part of their content.
Like pro-Christian, pro-traditionalism, or anything like that.
Yeah, I think in a lot of ways, these men
people in the chat are saying Abba and Preach aren't red pill. I apologize if that was a mischaracterization. In my mind, like I see them in the same vein, but maybe I'm mistaken for
You're not. And that's the thing. Just because they are not the grifters who are saying we have the answers of the red pill doesn't mean that they're not constantly talking about dating content. And so while the name, the red pill, the manosphere, while that's gotten a lot less clout, a lot less what's the word? God damn. It's gotten a lot less prestige, shall we say. It is what it is.
For that, so apologies.
Yeah, to be fair, I've never seen their content specifically, but yeah, as far as the Fresh and Fits and the whatever podcast, there does seem to be a contribution to the problem that you are critiquing. If you are then advocating that men should be on these sugar baby websites and sleep with as many women as possible and collect a ton of partners, what women do you think are the ones who are going to be engaging in the sort of activity that you now critique on your podcast? But I could see it as a sort of never-ending supply of both monetary and entertainment value if you're feeding this issue that you then get to highlight on a podcast.
Which is exactly the issue with Fresh and Fit. And so again, I saw Destiny was covering something that Myron did. It was a second video about Fresh and Daisy, and he wasn't even there. Fresh wasn't even there. He was like, "Yo, you can't be trusted on the mic." But I'm just come in and be like, "Oh, we have receipts about how she's so bad with she did this and she committed crimes and she's an escort." And it's like, bro, your whole platform is that you got to sleep with 50 women before you get married, so you can vet them, so that you can tell the difference. But you got swindled. And you got potentially baby trapped. So why is anybody listening to you? Why is anybody listening to you? They shouldn't be. And this goes back to exactly what we were talking about the other day, about making sure that, you know, when we're talking about whether it's Nala and her Christianity, if we're talking about Crowder and his divorce, if we're talking about any of these things, maybe they're not the most important things in the world. But if they are connected to the method by which you get information on the world, that's important.
That you create. So I think there's plenty of due criticism for the message that they package for young men, because they claim that it's a healthy one that's going to lead them down a better path. I don't know that that's true. And it's certainly not healthy for the women who are going to be engaging in this activity. It kind of feels more like a humiliation ritual for the people who are on the podcast, rather than an actual effort to bring about societal change.
Right. And again, it's kind of speaking out of both sides of your mouth, or just being two-faced and saying, well, we want a society where women are upstanding and this, that, and that. But you highlight all of these whores when I it's just frustrating. It's just frustrating. Is there anybody real? Well, the real ones, please stand up.
Yeah, and I feel like the idea of you're criticizing these women 304s, but at the same time you're feeding into it. It almost sets the idea that, yeah, there are some women who just inherently exist and are around to be used. And because there's also this story, I mean, I almost don't want to promote this because I'm not sure where we're at with what she's done with her OnlyFans, but there is that woman who's gone viral for, I think she previously was on.
So it wasn't until I watched this today that I realized that the Nala situation didn't just come out of nowhere. So as of 3 weeks ago, when was this exactly? As of March 20th, she had already decided to make her change her life. Take that for what you will.
The whatever podcasts, but since has at least come out as a Christian. And, that's kind of sparked a whole debate. Obviously, I'm a Christian. I think that I am in need of Christ's forgiveness and grace as anybody. But there are people who are saying, well, no, like you're still, and obviously, men watching this, you do not have to date anybody you do not want to. Just because a woman is a Christian does not mean you have to overlook things. Like, I'm not saying anyone needs to date anybody, but just in terms of like,
are you asking me what I want from life, or are you just putting it out there that if you don't focus on what you want from life, that you're just gonna find something meaningless?
How we treat this woman, there are a lot of people who are saying like, well, no, she's done this, she's still trash. It doesn't matter. I'm trying to find. Do you know who I'm talking about?
Yeah,
She's got
I know.
Come on, get to her.
To change a different, just going to be people in the society who are just like inherently, you've done this, now you're untouchable. We will never forgive, never move on. Again, not saying you have to date her, but just we will always treat you as this pariah, which is I feel like the mentality that Fresh and Fit feed into if they're simultaneously saying these women are terrible, but also I'm creating more of them.
And again, this is before the Daisy stuff. Calling it out. When people say things When people, I mean, that's not necessarily a prediction, but when people say things that have weight in the future, unlike somebody who says the world's going to end on April 8th and it is now April 10th, when somebody says something and the thing that they say comes true, it's not because they have a crystal ball. It's because they're paying attention. Shout out to Dylan Soup. Welcome to the party. Good to see you, brother. Public says, what I want from life is an honest and fruitful adventure. Can't argue with that.
Yeah, I think it's ridiculous. And I'm coming at it from the perspective of being a non-believer. I'm non-religious. So I'm watching these things sort of play out.
Let's go.
I think the OnlyFans to, born again version or born again Christian pipeline is going to be a really big thing over the next few years or decades, because that would be the natural progression if you've led a lifestyle like that and then are looking to reconcile it or looking for some sort of forgiveness. I imagine many of them will turn to religion or sort of denounce the lifestyle that they led before.
And again, if that's the only alternative, then good. I would rather you be a Christian than you'd be some degenerate. I personally, the atheist, would rather you be a Christian than a degenerate. But that's a false dichotomy. You don't have to pick either or. You can be a non-Christian who's a good person. That's the thing that's always glossed over. And while, come on, Mort, and Jesus Christ, and while we're in this between time when Christianity is proposed to still have a meaning. But also, there's people like Nala and everybody else, including Richard fucking Dawkins, calling themselves Christians. What does it mean? Does it mean anything? Is it even going to do what you want it to do? If there is somebody living a degenerate lifestyle, is Christianity going to be able to bring that person back from the brink if it's so watered down? I don't think so. The only value that it has is it being what it is. If you change it, it's different. I know it sounds stupid, but think about it. The only reason that you care about what Christianity is because of what Christianity is. If you change that thing, then what you care about no longer exists.
Turn to religion or sort of denounce the lifestyle that they led before. And that's exactly what you should want. If anything is going to change the minds of young women who are on the precipice of entering what is a really harmful industry, it's going to be the women who already did that, who already, had that lifestyle, made a bunch of money. I believe she was within.
Great point. So MS9 saying society's gotten used to polar extremes and we almost don't know how to be in the center. Yeah, I think that it's a sad thing that everybody feels the need to, group up in these tribes. It makes sense, but we should have evolved beyond that. And I would argue that dogma and religion are a big reason why we still have the tendency to move back to the idea that we know. Even if you grew up not having Christianity in your household at all, you're familiar with what it is. And so if you decide, okay, well, I've been living a meandering, meaningless life, and now I want to change that. It doesn't mean that you have to go through the church. You absolutely can. But for those of us who are not able to believe, and those of us who already been through the church, there needs to be another answer. Nail on the head. I've tweeted this exact thing. That's all it is. Christianity used to mean I have a personal relationship with Jesus Christ, who I believe is the Son of God, who came down to earth and died for our sins and all that stuff. Richard Dawkins doesn't believe that. Ayaan Hirsi Ali doesn't believe that. I'm pretty sure Russell Brand doesn't believe that. But all three of them, in the last month, 2 months, have said that they're going to be Christians. Why don't you care? Why don't you care?
In the top 1% of earners on OnlyFans, And she's turning back and saying, you know what? It's not the lifestyle for me. Here are the harmful things that this inflicted upon my life and upon the culture. That's what's going to be what stops, a new 18-year-old girl from hopping on OnlyFans, not some guy who is calling her a 304 and saying that she's going to be used up. In fact, I often think shame and ridicule leads people down the opposite pathway that you're asking them.
That's me. And I kind of glossed over a point that she also made, is that, like, okay, great. If you're going to change your life, fantastic. But maybe the person who is, 3 days off of OnlyFans is not the best person to tell everybody, okay, here's how to deal with going from being this person to that person. Maybe you need to become that person first, and then you can talk about your experience of how you did it. Otherwise, it's just lip service. Shout out to Mike W. in the building. So the church used to be the answer to a lot of questions. We have better answers now. No need for the church anymore. Absolutely. Absolutely. Context said, the caveat is culturally Christian. I'll admit, it's a little cringe. It is very cringe. It is very cringe. Welcome to the party, Mike. Good to see you. Good to see you. Christian leaders are a problem when they open their church for flu shots. I agree. I want to see, are they going to pull up anything from her? Okay, so they'll pull up something from her, and then I have something, because again, I still didn't sit down and watch the Knowles interview, and I'm not going to, but there are some clips that we could see through, and while I was setting up my last stream, shout out to Little Miss Jacob, who I talked to yesterday. I was on her channel. Please go check that out. While I was setting up the last stream, she was also live talking about Nala, and I was just, kind of listening while I was getting ready. And from what I heard, she just said the most basic, like, I think somebody in the chat was saying, like, it sounds like she got this off of ChatGPT. I haven't been inside a church in 15 years. And I could do exactly what she did. It's just one day, I had a feeling, and a cold washed over me, and I realized what I was doing. And I looked over in the corner, and there was a Bible there. And I always had that Bible, but I didn't even remember putting it there. And so, I thought that was weird. So I walked over into it, and I opened it. And I opened it, and I saw the first verse was telling me exactly what I needed to hear. And again, something washed over me, and that kind of BS. Not saying that can't happen, but anybody can make that up.
Them to take.
Right. And for people who I see in the chat, there's discussion whether this is the woman, Nala. She, like you said, very popular on OnlyFans. I think she's been on the whatever podcast. She made a video saying that she has actually found Christ. She's turning away from this. She's born again.
You're one of the few, Seabass. You're one of the few. You are the Christian minority. Sorry to tell you.
There's been debate over whether she actually shut down her OnlyFans. At least these posts that I'm seeing, it says the content on there has been deleted. This person says walking away from sin takes time, especially when it's your job. Getting out of sex work, what is notoriously difficult. Can everyone stop visually judging and questioning her salvation now? So would pray for her and root for her. God is able. And aside from the Christian perspective, I just want to say that I do firmly believe, we were saying in the intro, people can change.
Absolutely, people can change. That doesn't mean that everybody who says I've changed has changed. Because as much as I hate the sound of it, I do believe that the culturally Christian movement is at least a way of people to understand their morality a little bit better through that lens. I don't disagree, but that's just another, again, every new denomination is just falling further and further and further and further away from the word of the gospel. And so it's like, why do we need this? People are primed to think that there needs to be a thing there. You don't need a thing there. And I get it. I've been talking up and already even clipped it when I was like, shout out to Guamtech. And the thing that you've been saying about how you just gotta let it play out. And before we got here, we were talking about Dylan Mulvaney. And I was like, a while back, I would have flipped out. But now realizing what you've told me, that it's like, hey, you're right, just let it play out. it's allowed me to see it from a much calmer perspective. So I gotta thank you for that. M169 said, if you're asking why a traditional Christian doesn't care, I do. However, I also don't want to be a gatekeeper. Why not? Why don't you want to be a gatekeeper? That makes absolutely no sense to me. The gate is not that hard to walk through, is it? All you have to do is accept Jesus Christ. As far as I understand it, that is the only requirement. Gatekeep that. That's the only thing that makes it a thing. This is how you lose Christianity. And again, I'm rooting for it. But this isn't my timeline. We need it for a little bit longer. Because again, people are too stupid to just realize, oh, I can just be a good person. Mom said, I wish humans were smart enough to be able to understand their morality without a religion. I would think of it as more of a guideline to morality as a historical understanding. That's the goal. That's the goal. That's where we want to end up. And I do think that we can do that. I think humans are smart enough. I just don't. I think that in the same way, if you're a world-class runner. If you're a world-class runner and you get in an accident and you're bedridden for 10 months, your muscles are going to atrophy. And so, yeah, you're going to need a crutch. But it doesn't mean you can't walk. It just means you have to build up the muscles. Almost nice. If their journey is genuine, why would I attempt to get in their way? Nobody said get in their way. But where's the skepticism to say, hey, guys, maybe we shouldn't be exalting this person the same way the trans is exalted Dylan Mulvaney just because he said, I'm a girl now. Said, I'm actually all for this if I could just be considered an evolution of morality by intertwining the understanding of why religion could repeat influence morality for the individual. I agree. Shout out to Alex Pickus in the building. Welcome to the party. Always good to see you, brother.
And,
So, yeah, I didn't get to see any of the actual clips, but let's see what we got here.
Your conversion, this wonderful story. Which
I know is controversial to some people, but...
So I was actually going to mention, I had an odd experience, Nala, which is that I really, not only was I not familiar with your past career, but I wasn't even really familiar with the story of, your conversion, this wonderful story. I just wasn't aware of it. I'm interviewing someone, and I mentioned how there have been a couple people in the chat of my show. So we're talking about people who are full members who are commenting every day, who worked in varying degrees of, and who kind of came.
Yeah, so I don't blanket believe or exalt them. I take a wait and see attitude. And I to credit where it's due, a lot of people were taking this position, but way too many people either were saying, oh, this effing whore can't do this, or, oh my God, this is amazing, she's saved. Is that all it takes? Should I just grift everybody? Should I just grift everybody? If it's that fucking easy, and it's this fucking difficult to be real, what the fuck am I doing?
Came out of it. And I was thinking of one person in particular who, I've just sort of interacted with in the show and maybe on Twitter a little bit. And, but this person I was interviewing, Pearl Davis, I think she thought I was talking about you.
Yes.
And
I got that vibe very heavily when I watched the interview.
So she never said your name, and I didn't know who you were. And she's saying, oh, that person is a fake. She didn't really get out. And I'm thinking of this other person from my chat. I said, I don't know, pretty sure I've followed this. I'm pretty sure, but what do I know?
I just love that you're on such a different
we're talking about totally different things. And then later, maybe she or you, someone had posted about this. And I said, oh, it's about this girl. Okay, well, I don't know, maybe she's a fake, maybe I don't know anything about her. And then, but then I kind of looked into it a little bit. Now we've been chatting for, I don't know, 10 hours.
And I completely agree. If it's an act, Bobs, can you just take a seat somewhere? What is it that you want? I know that I know there's not a lot of people here, and it's okay. We try to do something different, and the act will not last. If it's an act, it will not last. That's so obvious. So again, I'm not giving you any shit, but to the people who are just ready to be like, yep, okay, including Michael Knowles. Why? What's the rush? What's the rush? She has her whole life to show, and she's got a lot of money So it's not like she just has to go and do little good deeds. Spend half of that money. Half of that money. Not even. Spend $4 million on anything that has to do with good works. No, you're selling $170 rosaries? Gotcha.
And but it feels like 10 minutes.
Feels like 5 minutes.
Right. And you seem sincere. It totally seems real. So
I feel like that's to test the spirits. You know, we are asked to test the spirits and look at the fruit of the spirit and not to judge that person. Like a true Christian, a true believer of Christ will watch and observe and listen and not jump to a conclusion.
Yeah.
So number one, that's her already getting ahead of the criticism. And two, something that this is what I was going to mention before, something that I missed when I was talking about this with Ari. She mentions that her father is a pastor. So she grew up around all of this. The way I was just like, oh yeah, so the Bible, and I'm not trying to sell you anything. She grew up around this. And so again, it just comes back to the same idea of people. If you have a group, if you have a club, if you have anything that is sacred, it cannot be open to everybody. Yet at the same time, if you want that group or that idea or that movement to succeed, then you do need to bring in new people, but those people need to be the right type of people. It's a balancing act. You know, in the same way that I'm saying that, conservatives need to bring in, a shout out to, we are just talking about Ari Jacob. Welcome to the party. Let me drop the link if you want to come on up. Yeah, I was just saying, I completely forgot. She grew up in a pastor's family. So she could, anyway. The idea of balance. We have to balance the fact that, I talk about all the time about how I want to bring more secular ideas into conservatism. That doesn't mean that we're bringing what a lot of you think of as atheist ideas, which would really just be leftist, hedonistic ideas. We need to gatekeep that type of bullshit out of our movement. Otherwise, it won't be anything. Also, we need to make sure that secular people have a space. Otherwise, the movement is going to die. It's a balancing act. I said the guy in Pearl's live stream at the beginning was super based on this story. And yeah, I'm totally willing to accept that she's changed her life. I'm just not there yet. And so we're not fully focusing on this. We're more talking in general. But I still hadn't seen any of it, so I had to check out some of what was going on here. Nick says, wasn't she surprised that her parents didn't jump for joy and welcome her back? I mean, probably not. She probably expected her parents to act differently than Twitter did.
I had a very big, I wouldn't say issue, but it was a very controversial video that she made about me, and I had to just pray. I needed to pray because I felt like I was getting heated about it, and that wasn't the right attitude to have at all. Mm-hmm. Like, I really wanted to respond more in kindness than anything.
That is the time to put away Twitter, or X now. The moment you start to act...
Nope, never gonna call it X. Twix is as far as I'll go.
Really get angry? Put it away.
It wasn't even, I deleted my Twitter. I don't have Twitter. I didn't know I was being spoken about on Twitter at all. I had just watched her YouTube video on me, and it was... I couldn't even finish it because there were so many loose ends, and I don't want to say it this way, but lies, outright lies being...
I don't want to do it. Okay, nope, we're not going to do it. We're going to save the projection for when it's really projection. We don't know yet. She's doing it. Kathy Griffin in the building.
Said about me that I felt the need to correct, but that was like my flesh. My flesh was like, right. That's wrong. Like I don't know why I'm being perceived this way by this woman who's never spoken to me, never reached out to me.
Really? You have no idea? Come on now, stop the cap.
And I am only now in her eye because of my change, Right. And she does say that she's a Catholic.
Yeah, I don't know that she.
Yeah, I said I watched Lauren Southern's video. I watched half of it before I was on here. And Lauren Southern's video, and she thinks people who don't believe Nala think no one can be redeemed. Such a weird perspective, in my opinion, especially because conservatives don't believe the media, but believe all influencers. That don't make no sense. That don't make no sense. Yeah, I think, and you know, speaking of, we're actually watching Lauren Chen's thing, and she kind of had the people don't believe no one can be redeemed. Yeah, but basically, she just had the same perspective of, well, Jesus can save anybody. Yes, but let's see some evidence first. Someone 69 said, I tried to take my lead from Jesus. All were welcome. He forgave the worst behaviors and also said, go and sin no more. He also said many will say, didn't I do wondrous things in your name? And he says, and he said, I never knew you. This was always explained as he knows who the fakers are. I mean, yeah, and that's why, again, it's becoming more and more earthly. It's becoming more and more of a political virtue signal than anything else. Richard Dawkins. Come on, man. Yeah, right? And again, if he did actually do that, then fine. Whatever, I don't care. But did he, though? Shout out to Tyler the Goat over on Twitch. You can, yes, the Discord is free to join, guys. Make sure you are in the Discord. It is free to join. That is right. We have our free chat and our current events channel where anybody can come in. But if you sign up as a member for the channel, you get access to the full server, including the after party. As soon as we're done here, we're going over there where we don't have to worry about the YouTube censors. You're not stuck behind your keyboard either. You can come on screen with me and everybody else. It is a grand old time. Come and join us.
A sense to the doctrines of the Catholic faith, but as we discussed, I mean, one can go back and watch the interview.
Yeah.
But at the very least, she said this thing. I really don't mean to beat up on her for it because a lot of people say this, but she said, like, look, I was raised Catholic. I went to Catholic school.
I said, shit, me too. I'm the biggest atheist you know. Mary Magdalene is the OG 304. I'll give a dilly to that. Or the links. Oh, sorry. Hold on, give me 1 second. I got you, Tyler. I forgot you. I forgot this wasn't going through. Boom. Gotcha. Where were we? Oh yeah. I was gonna make a joke, but I ruined it. Okay.
Because a lot of people say this, but she said, like, look, I was raised Catholic. I went to Catholic school, but and the minute you ever hear that preface, you can be 100% certain you were about to hear the least Catholic thing you ever heard in your life.
Absolutely.
Now listen here, I met the nuns once when I was in 8th grade, and so anyway.
But you accepted anybody. You accepted anyway. Make it make sense.
I was raised as a monk. What?
But so I was very confused when I saw it, but I said, I ought to keep an open mind. Who knows? There are charlatans out there.
Yeah.
I think you have a very good attitude about it, and it's an attitude that I've tried to take, which is, our Lord, when he's on trial and they're making up all this stuff about him, he just doesn't say anything. He's silent.
He's silent.
What do you?
So he didn't go on a big giant podcast and talk. Okay, all right. I just want to make sure.
So this is my theory about it. So when someone has a hot cup of coffee and they spill it all over themselves, but you're right next to them and a little bit gets on you, are you more concerned with that tiny bit of coffee spilt on you,
yes,
or how they are burning right now?
Right.
Which one are you more concerned about? And that's how I feel about the situation.
I would bet all the money that is in my name, which isn't much, but it's all of it. I would guarantee you that is something that she heard from her childhood. I guarantee you that's something she heard from her childhood. That's not something she learned is like, oh my God, you've opened up my eyes. No way.
I can be upset about that little bit of coffee on me that's barely burning me, but still got on me, maybe got on my shirt. And I'm like, but that person is in pain.
Nick's asking, what's a 304? We got one right here. It's like, you remember the calculator when you do 8008? Flip it upside down. It's a hoe.
The person doesn't know what they're doing. Lord, forgive them.
Right.
That's my only answer to this at the moment, because my flesh wants to be upset because of the false accusations, but I can't be upset. Like, my spirit cannot hold that against her.
Again, just the way that she's talking, it's so obvious to me. This is not a new Christian. This is not a new Christian. This is somebody that, speaking of the flesh and all that, this is not how normal non-Christian people talk. This is how Christians talk. Shout out to Unwanted Foe. Yeah, damn, with the tenor in the building. Said some money to go make a bet. Betting my life and a treat for Morty. Thank you very, very much, sir. And of course, that makes you the new sponsor of the stream. And shout out to Mr. Wonderful. Just joined the Discord. Awesome. Thank you very, very much, sir. Guarantee you. Listen to it again. There's no way.
But that person is in pain. That person doesn't know what they're doing. Lord, forgive them.
Lord,
that's my only answer to this at the moment, because my flesh wants to be upset because of the false accusations.
Stop the cap.
But I can't be upset. Like, my spirit cannot hold that against her, because I feel as though she may be lost and maybe hasn't received love like that I have received from Christ.
Sure, yeah.
Like, maybe hasn't been able to experience or hasn't experienced it.
I don't know. Let's see. One more. I searched. Let's see. What is she saying here? How old is this? Oh, this is a picture. Any more video? Well,
Nala, also known as Fitness Nala,
shout out to Ari. Was just talking about
was
this.
one of the #1 creators on OnlyFans, making around $9 million over her time on the platform.
Right. And if it wasn't, and even like fake, but also maybe not rehearsed, but not a new Christian. A new Christian is not speaking this way. Some whore who was not. This is what you got growing up. I was like, man, as much as I resonate with the message, I just wish they could use less flowery language to describe what they're getting at. Yep. Well, I mean, shit. Dilly. We got projections. We got what you want to do. We'll I'll play any drinking game you want. Let's go. All right,
#1 creators on OnlyFans, making around $9 million over her time on the platform. Famously, on the Whatever podcast, she boasted about just how much she loved to cheat on people. But by some literal miracle, recently she has announced that she has found God, deleted her OnlyFans, and is changing her life around. And despite this, the reaction to Nala's life change from many has not been the most welcoming. But either way, whether she's lying or, not, the people I am more disappointed in than anyone is this culture we've created that has people absolutely giddy at the prospect of her somehow tricking the conservative media circuit that her conversion has been fake. Christ told sinners, even very specifically prostitutes, to come to him and...
This is the dogma. And this is exactly what Ari was just talking about. But this is where dogma prevents you from looking at every other thing in the world the way that you, or rather looking at this the same way you would look at everything else in the world. So let's see what we got here. Shout out to Tyler. Drop this here. What are we looking at? Let's reload it. Oh, Instagram's muted because
African government said we don't allow that stuff here. And Barack.
All right, let's see what we got. Come on.
Force Africa to accept same-sex marriages. And African government said we don't allow that stuff here. And Barack sanctioned Africa, trying to force Africa, different countries of Africa, to accept same-sex marriages, and if those countries don't, he will sanction them. starve them. How in the world men knocking up men mean so much to America that you will use your power to starve a baby, starve a woman?
So Tyler, tell me talk to me about this. Why are you sharing this?
Because a country want to uphold God's law.
So I mean, you know, as if I had to guess why Tyler thinks this is important, is the relevance to you know, the gatekeeping comment, that if you're not willing to gatekeep, then maybe you don't really care about having this club that much. If you're just willing to let anybody into your home, how much do you care about the sanctity of your home? If you're willing to let people in anywhere else, it's the same exact thing. So let's get back to Lauren here.
Old sinners, even very specifically prostitutes, to come to him and sin no more. He even continued to call out the hypocrisy of those who wanted to throw stones at these women, like all these people on Twitter, and said he does not condemn these women, he saves them.
He could, but did he? So Tyler said he said that Obama gave a blind eye to Black America. Okay, give me a little bit more than that. Shout out to SMHBH19 and Giggling Spy over on Rumble. Good to see you guys. Thank you for being here. Yeah, I mean, just more of the same. People just jumping on a bandwagon because other people are on the opposite bandwagon. That's what I see. And so what I was thinking when we were watching that is, I already said that. Yeah, that there has to be a level of gatekeeping in order for any sanctity to be had.
Aside from the Christian perspective, I just want to say that I do firmly believe, like, I mean, we were saying in the intro, people can change. And, you know, I feel like there must be a sort of middle ground where we deeply condemn the OnlyFans, the sex work, you know, this lifestyle, while at the same time recognizing you, just because you're in it now doesn't mean you always have to be. And like, it's not too late to turn around and to change. And I just feel like there's, I don't know, we're kind of, I think it's hard for people right now to do that. But you also don't want to enable grifters or whatever it is. But
Exactly. That's the balance right there. You want to let people in, but you don't want to enable grifters. Consecutive Christianity could use anything. It's less preaching and more real-world explanations of how they came to these understandings. Exactly. What's been learned and how they live now. Yeah. Where is that? Because, again, if you really want to push this stuff, then forcing it through the lens of Christianity is the worst possible way. I don't get it, guys. I don't get it.
I'm just, looking at how many women are on OnlyFans or they're doing this. And I don't want those women to still be on OnlyFans in 10 years. And I just feel like if we're not simultaneously offering, hey, this is how you leave it, this is how you move forward, then it's like, okay, well, they're not going to change.
I agree. But you guys know what I'm going to say. That Christianity is not the only way. What if she maybe didn't grow up in a preacher's household where it was so heavy on her, but she just grew up in a normal home that she went to church and she knew enough about Christianity where it was like, okay, I understand what that is, but I don't believe in it and whatever. When she wants to fix her life and she's like, oh well, I already don't believe in Christianity. I could be a cultural Christian, water down your faith in the truth of the universe if you want. Or we could have Lutch, the Indian Jesus, present the American identity. Oh my God, my life is so much better because now I have a basis of values. Family, community, ritual, commitment, tradition, merit, gratitude, grace, family. Did I say family? Family twice. Let's go. That is how you fix your life. That is how you fix your life. If it comes to the Bible, all right, whatever. But it's not the Bible that does it. That is the imbalance. Yes, we need people to want to fix their lives. No, we don't want people to only have one option.
Leave it. This is how you move forward. Then it's like, okay, well, they're not going to change.
100%. I mean, it's the same argument we make for cancel culture. With cancel culture, what people are saying is you are held to the standard of what you said when you were 13 years old, and we're going to judge that through the modern lens, and you are frozen in time as that person. You have not progressed, you have not changed, and we have to hold you accountable for some sort of past self that you inflicted on the world. If we use that same logic, that's what we're doing to these OnlyFans girls who decide to change their minds and delete their content. You have to offer an off-ramp to people. Otherwise, they're only incentivized to continue doing what they're doing and recruit other people, because misery loves company, and you're just going to create an endless cycle of this sort of behavior.
But Amala said she's not a religious person. Now, obviously, she wasn't on OF, but, you know, as Lauren says in her video, specifically about Nala that came out with it, whether it was today or yesterday or whatever, it's not like the more sin that you do, the less worthy of being saved you are. So in that sense, she's just like anybody else. So if you can be a good person, if you can be go ahead, come on, go. If you can be a good person and you can propagate these values, are you saying you're better than everybody else that can't? Just saying. M69 said, Guamtech, that's what preaching is, as far as I'm concerned. I wish. The good ones for sure. We need more of that out there. And less, praise be, Jesus came to me personally and saved me from the clutches of the devil. Oh, hell no. I agree.
Mm-hmm. And psychological Eugene Fitzherbert says, doesn't mean she's entitled to a man after that. 100%. No one's entitled to anybody.
But see, again, nobody did say that. And that's again, finding the balance. It's like, why are you coming at it like that? When she tries to hit you up, then be like, hey, yeah, I'm glad for your change, but you've been ran through too much. Fair enough. Why is it that's not relevant to what they're even talking about? And we're not, this conversation is not even about Nala. It's about feminism and how it's being erased for males. She was just bringing this up in that context. Just weird. It's like whenever Destiny's on this channel, not on this channel, but whenever I use Destiny on this channel, it's like, oh, he's a cock and he's got blue hair. And whenever Tim's on the channel, oh my God, it's the guy with the beanie. It's like, you guys are children.
Anybody to date them. I am not saying any man watching this, you need to go wife Nala up and not care about her past. That's not what I think. But Woke Quill says no one takes the addict serious on day one of recovery. She's going to have to show people the change that's reality, sadly. And, you know, that I think is fair. Like the best.
But yet, 3 weeks later, she has done nothing but talk to Michael Knowles. And you put out a video today saying, hey, okay.
Predictor for future behavior is relevant past behavior. Right now, Nala's relevant past behavior is being on OnlyFans. But you know what? In a year, in 2 years, 3 years, more and more, her relevant past behavior will be, hopefully.
Okay, well, I wasn't going to do this. But now that we're on the topic, now that you're talking shit. Where is it? Whoa. Now that we're here.
She did, but still out.
Give on a second. Get it all queued up for you.
Promiscuity. We should call out OnlyFans. We should call out pornography 100%. But here's the thing. What do we do when someone who used to do those things now stops doing them?
Again, this is from today, 7 hours ago.
Embraces Christ. Well, I say that's a win. And I think this is hard to talk about because there are...
That's her take. This is a win. Just 3 weeks ago, she was talking about the same person, said in a year, maybe 2, 3 weeks later...
Out promiscuity. We should call out...
Let's go. I want to get the full thing here.
Them in Islam, the same naivety that they've... response to posts I've done about Nala. We had people saying the fact.
Shout out to whoever said Jeffrey Dahmer. Can you say the same with Jeffrey Dahmer?
That you're incapable of seeing her still playing a character is beyond me. My God, Christians are gullible. And here we have someone named Neo saying Christians believe this woman can truly be saved. The naivety of conservative Christians is driving more people toward atheism and Islam. The same naivety that is making your society crumble.
Yup.
Accept everything and fall for anything.
Accept anything, accept everything, and fall for anything. If you stand for nothing, you will fall for anything. If you just stand for, well, I want everybody to be happy and nice, that's not going to work out for you. That's not going to work out for you. The world is not nice. Some people are not going to have a good time.
So here's the thing about Christianity, and this is just not my opinion. This is not how I think Christianity should be, but this is going based on what the Bible says.
Oh, okay. So we got another Christian here telling you that, hey, other Christians, if you're saying something different than my Christianity, then you're wrong.
Anybody can be saved by Christ, and once we are saved by Christ, we are born anew. We are born again. Now, does this mean that sin doesn't matter and we should all be like the wishy-washy David French kinds of Christians where we accept people in their sin because, oh, judge not lest ye be judged, taken out of context? No, absolutely not. We should call out promiscuity. We should call out OnlyFans. We should call out pornography 100%. But here's the thing. What do we do when someone who used to do those things now stops doing them and embraces Christ? Well, I say that's a win.
That's a win. Projection. Everywhere. I wasn't even going to bring this up.
Rihanna's relevant past behavior is being on OnlyFans. But you know what? In a year, in 2 years, 3 years, more and more, her relevant past behavior will be hopefully a new person, a person who turns away from OnlyFans and is speaking out about it. I just don't want. I mean, it's almost like, then what are we doing this for?
Exactly. What are y'all doing this for? If anyone can join?
Anyone who's engaged in these behaviors is just irredeemable.
Oh, okay. So she's saying the opposite, which is fair. I'm not saying she's irredeemable, but you yourself said in a year, 2, maybe 3, and then you cut down to weeks.
Then why? Like, are we only trying to aim at the people who've not done it yet and just screw everyone who's like, you're already lost? It's very black pill, I suppose.
100%. And yeah,
skepticism. This is something that I was talking with Little Miss Jacob. Skepticism and cynicism are not the same thing. Cynicism is the black pill. Like, oh, she can't be saved. She won't this, that, whatever. That's cynicism. I'm not saying that. A lot of people are, but I'm not. I'm saying, hold up, wait a minute. Let's see what's good. Skepticism. Believe nothing except that anything is possible. Is it possible that she's grifting? Absolutely. Is it possible that she's being genuine and she was actually saved? Absolutely. Do we have any fucking clue which one of those it is?
I think in looking at her story, what actually got her to stop OnlyFans was a man that she is now in a relationship with. So nobody has to worry about having to date this young woman. She's found somebody, and I think she's going to be fine.
Yeah, another
That's not
super
really the
chat
point,
from
though,
Spaceman
right?
Chris, thank you so much. Hey, ladies, looking great. Lauren just dropping by to say this Tucker has been watching your content since the Roman Millennial days. Keep up the great work, both you and Amala. Catch the stream later. I mean, I hope that's true. Okay, so
Right. What were we just talking about on, what day is it? It is Wednesday. What were we just talking about on Monday? Inconsistency. The internet is forever. Now, if you hear me, who was it? Somebody just called me out on in the after party. They were like, I was very surprised when you said you had this opinion. And I was like, I said that? I don't know if that was the right context, but let me assure you, at this very moment, I do not hold that opinion. And I don't think I was being inconsistent. And we're all gonna there's a difference between being inconsistent and changing your mind. Consistency includes the willingness to change your mind at any point. But just, going with the wind and like, oh, this person said this, so I'm going to go this way. This person said this, I'm going to go this way. Getting dragged around like a fishhook.
Random story. I love Tucker Carlson. He's one of my favorite
Shout out to
commentators.
Tucker.
And I was sick at America Fest this past Christmas.
I don't know. maybe it's just because I've had some of her podcasts saved and I've been waiting to watch them. Did she seem sick in that other video? I feel like she's been sick forever. We covered that America Fest with TPUSA when it was Tucker and James O'Keefe and Tim Pool, Luke, and all those. I mean, actually, yeah. So the Timcast episode at AmFest, we covered that. That was a while ago, and I don't know. I don't know. Just a rant.
Sick at America Fest this past Christmas. Me and my daughter were.
Yeah. What were you? What was the thing you were calling me out on? Oh, that's right. Smoking in bars. We're talking about smoking in bars, and I don't know if because in film we were in the after party. He was hanging out at a bar, and he was smoking a cigar. And I live in Jersey, where it's just illegal to smoke anything anywhere indoors. And I think what happened is that I was saying that personally, I enjoy the fact that I don't have to deal with the smoke in the not that I really go out anymore, but when I was in my 20s, I was going out to bars all the time. And so it was nice that not only did you not have to deal with that, but there was also a little bit of a camaraderie with like, yo, you want to have a bogey? And you go outside, and it's like, a break from that, especially if there's a girl there. It's like that's a way to start a conversation and so on and so forth. But for whether I misspoke or whether he misunderstood me, he was under the impression that I was of the opinion that the government should tell all these businesses that they're not allowed to have smoking, and that is not my opinion. Even though I personally benefit from it, that's what we're talking about. So, again, I feel that if I misspoke before, then hey, we all make mistakes. If it was a misunderstanding, then I think it is consistent that I have my personal preferences that I don't want smoke all over in my face, but I also don't want the government to be able to tell businesses what to do. But in this particular case, it happened to work out for me. Consistency! I'm so mad that this is not working. You know what? Let's try something. Let's just unplug it. Let's do the old unplug it and plug it back in again, and let's see if it works. Okay. Let's see. Sorry, no sounds are loaded in. Nope. Oh well. All right. What did we miss here? Nick says, I think that's a little Christian bias towards believing Christianity is the only answer. Exactly. That's what we're fighting against, man. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. It's been what, people have been primed for. That good equals Christianity. Non-Christianity equals bad. But we've evolved beyond that. We've evolved beyond that. You know it. We've evolved beyond that, and we just don't need it anymore. Now, that's not saying anybody is barred from having their beliefs. But we don't need it. We don't need it. Because if you climb Mount Everest, there is a right way and a wrong way, and many dead bodies along the path kind of like trying to get there by yourself. So there's only one path that's ever been gone, and so anybody who's gone up Mount Everest has taken the exact same footsteps. Is that what you're saying? Because that's not how it works. There's absolutely a trail, but unless you're saying you need these exact boots, and there's not a right way and a wrong way. There are things that you can do that will be better. Hey, you should go this way. You should have boots with the spikes, and you should have oxygen. The wrong way is to not have oxygen and have the wrong boots and go the wrong way. But to say that there's only one way is incorrect. Geocentrism was a thing. Yeah. So was the food pyramid. Shout out to the institutions, whether it's religion or government, they all suck.
This past Christmas, me and my daughter were sick, so we went there.
My daughter and I.
But then I ended up having to cancel like basically everything that I was gonna do. But like that morning, Tim Pool asked like, "Hey, like, are you around?" And I just texted him like, "Yeah, but I'm like feeling kind of under the weather." It turns out that Tim was reaching out because he wanted me to be on a panel with Tucker that night. And it's like, wow, Tim, I would have taken Tylenol. I would have
Yeah, so just a general message to anybody, whoever is going to reach out to me, if I ever say something along the lines of, and it's for something like that, let me know what it's for. Because I'll take a Tylenol too. I'll take a Tylenol too to sit next to Tucker Carlson. I want to post a good old food pyramid. Make sure you stuff yourself on those carbs. Oh yeah, without the carbs are the base. The carbs are the base to any healthy diet. Frosted Flakes are part of a balanced breakfast.
Together. But then I wouldn't want to have gotten, I guess, Tim or Tucker sick. So
yeah, 100%. Missed opportunity though.
Yeah, I know. I'm kicking myself. Like, man, if there's an argument for wearing masks, it's that maybe you won't get sick when there's an opportunity to wear Tucker Carlson.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Off topic. Dylan says, did you guys hear about the lunatic BLM dude that threatened Lauren Chen because she didn't agree with reparations? What? I did not hear about that, but why am I not surprised? Why am I not surprised?
So something else that I love about your channel is that you talk a lot about pop culture issues. People who are familiar with me know that I have an entire other channel dedicated to that. And I think it's so important talking about like entertainment media and stuff specifically, because I think like if we look over the past generation, why?
I want a 1 or if you agree and a 2 if you disagree. So listen to what she's saying. 1 if you agree, 2 if you disagree.
Dedicated to that. And I think it's so important talking about
pop culture,
like entertainment media and stuff specifically, because I think like if we look over the past generation, why are young people all of a sudden so left? Why is Hollywood so woke now? Well, it's because activists have kind of been inserting themselves, and for a long time we haven't been paying attention, at least people on the right. And so that's why I love the focus you give to it. Let's talk about The Acolyte a little bit. So for people who are not familiar with The Acolyte, it is an upcoming Disney Plus Star Wars series.
I was trying to
Star Wars since.
I was trying to hold on. I'll back that up. I was trying to do
them people.
No problem at all, Mrs. Kennedy.
We were just discussing a.
No, give me the thing. It's
Jones.
Fuck Indiana Jones. Put a ticket in and make his name gay.
Been inserted all of a sudden so left. Why is Hollywood so woke now? Well, it's because activists have kind of been inserting themselves, and for a long time we haven't been paying attention, at least people on the right. And so that's why I love the focus you give to it. Let's talk about
yes, Dylan. Conservatives are just now coming around to pop culture. And I'm glad you guys agree. It's frustrating that none of us really have a lot of pop culture stuff to talk about. Like every show that I'm watching, you guys aren't watching. I'm not really a huge movie guy except for Marvel, and understandably, all you guys are over Marvel. But I do, just like her, I think both of them, as she said, the next thing is for me to start a pop culture channel, because just like she's saying, this affects so many more people than, or rather, way more people watch movies or watch a particular movie than really, really, really care about any particular political issue, which, for better or worse, is it is what it is. And so we might wish it was the other way around, but that's not how it works. Why is that not popping up? Trying to pull. Oh, there it is. Conservatives and Republicans are typically a few years behind in pop culture. Yeah, I mean, at least, but like Dylan was saying, that is changing. So we had things like what was that movie? Sound of Freedom. We have people like Tom McDonald. We have even Timcast doing their own thing. They have the Timcast music. They have the vlog they're doing. Daily Wire has their movies. So yeah, I mean, it's just now coming around, and so it's going to take some time. But the presence of ideas that are different than the woke establishment Hollywood bullshit, it's going to take some time, but we absolutely can push back against that. Context is speaking of woke Hollywood, X-Men 97 is actually good. There we go. Hell yeah! I just saw the episode today, and I was like, this is kind of weak. And then in the last act, I was like, oh shit, let's go. Oh man. It's seriously the only thing I've enjoyed from Marvel since Endgame. It definitely still has woke subtext, but it actually works for the X-Men. Yeah, and the fact that lots of what is that? Magneto, lots of Magneto, lots of M. What? The X-Men story was always about people who didn't fit in, so it works there, and they don't force it in such a, like, they made the Morph character non-binary, but we're 5 episodes in, and there was one scene where he was like peeking on Wolverine in the shower, but other than that, it's like whatever. But yeah, I think they're like I've said this a number of times. Maybe I'll clip this up as its own thing. I think that Marvel is going to redeem itself. I think they absolutely saw how much everybody hated everything since Endgame. But the problem is that it takes time for the idea of, hey, we should do this, to the movie's out. And so, especially when you think about all the COVID stuff, then what I think happened is back in like 2018, 2019, or no, probably earlier than that. When did Captain Marvel come out? That was probably 2016, I think. It doesn't matter. But just whenever Captain Marvel came out, because of the fact that they sandwiched it between Infinity War and Endgame, it did well. And so they were like, oh yeah, let's lean into this. It's the girls and the woke and the this and the that. So they started making all these projects, and they had WandaVision, and they had Ant-Man and the Wasp, and all of this BS. And by the time, Captain Marvel was 2018. And so by the time that they saw how bad people were hating on things like She-Hulk, they already knew. They were like, oh shit, we're going in the wrong direction, but we've already put so much money into all of this that we got to drop it out. And so finally, by the time they realized, that's, I think, why they dropped Echo, the show Echo, the offshoot of Daredevil. They dropped that in one day. They cut a bunch of episodes and they dropped it in one day. And so I think they have decided, and plus they've gotten rid of every movie on their slate this year except for Deadpool, which we're all going to love. So, I think that means, especially with how we're seeing X-Men is going, I think they've realized their mistakes and they are turning it around. If you agree, let me know. If not, also let me know in the comments below. And let's shout out our boy Indie Film. What is good? Said Drizzle. That's right. Morty's like, excuse me, I'm in my soft guy era. I need to get paid. Hell yeah. Thank you. Very, very, very much, sir. Drizzle. What? We gotta have a hand signal. Drizzle. No, that's gay. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Drizzle, baby. Appreciate you. I very, very much appreciate you. All right. Where were we here? Yeah, conservatives just coming around. Although, ironically, the left and right flip places online in some areas. A lot of areas, yeah. See also, internet bloodsport / debate me bros and leftist red doom streamers. Yeah. MLC9 said we could thank the boomers and those who came before them that drilled into us. Politics and religion aren't to be discussed. I said shit. I think we got a comment of the night. That's something I rarely talk about, and you are absolutely spot on correct. That before, it was just accepted that, you just don't talk about that, and it's private. I understand it, but I how do I phrase this? Because that doesn't make any fucking sense. That don't make no fucking sense. Why would you not talk about those things? Those are so fundamentally important to how we live our lives. But I can kind of understand where they're coming from. So now that we've opened that Pandora's box, I think we're moving in the right direction. As Guamtech says, hey bro, just chill. Lech, you're so right about everything all of the time, everywhere. I'm being facetious, but yeah, as he's saying, hey, you might be right about this, so just chill and let it happen. Guamtech, I just hate the J6 type references and the obvious nods to conservative type arguments. Yeah, but again, that's the fact is, January 6th did happen. And I'm not defending it, but it did happen. So if you're going to talk about, a body of people taking over the government, it's kind of relevant. I'm not going to be bad at it. Shout out to I'm terrible with names. I'm sorry. Narendras? Apologize. As an Indian Guyanese, I'm voting for Trump because NYC is a mess. Let's go, dilly dilly, MAGA 24. Let's go. Welcome to the party, brother. Love to see it. Welcome. Dylan said the fact that Captain Marvel got a movie before Black Widow, an OG Avenger in the MCU, is such a disservice and a slap in the face. And exactly, that goes. It makes so much sense that before, they're like, okay, we got Scarlett Johansson. That's sex appeal. Then we get you fast forward to Captain Marvel, and they're like, oh wait, we can get the chicks in this. And then they go too hard. And I think, honestly, that's the only reason the Black Mirror, I keep wanting to say Black Mirror. That's the only reason the Black Widow movie got made. That should have been a Phase 2 movie. But they saw, oh, hey, put a chick in it and make it gay. And that's what we did. So I think it's not so much if we agree or disagree with what? It's not so much we disagree. It's, as we were just speaking about the proof in the pudding, so to speak. Yeah, I hope so too. Looks nice. I think it had people scared to upset someone. No one wanted that. At least I had the Friends of Humanity had people of color, and some of them were green. Represented. Yeah, that's the biggest thing. We have to have representation. Otherwise, is it even entertainment? Come on.
Activists have kind of been inserting themselves, and for a long time we haven't been paying attention, at least people on the right, and so that's why I love the focus you give to it. Let's talk about the Acolyte a little bit. So for people who are not familiar with the Acolyte,
put a 1 in the chat if you know what the Acolyte is. Remember, this is 3 weeks old, so it's old stuff. It's not new.
It is an upcoming Disney Plus Star Wars series. Star Wars, since they were bought by Disney, well, Lucasfilm was, it's been kind of notoriously woke. There's been a big emphasis on creating new female diverse characters, kind of setting the older characters aside. And the Acolyte is interesting because it's a series that really exists entirely outside of anything that's come before it in terms of Star Wars canon. This is I think 100 years before the original trilogy, so it's really just like, this is Disney's Star Wars in its purest form.
So I mean, CBS brings up a good point. It says, how are superheroes any different from fallen angels or ancient gods of mythology like Zeus and Jason of the Argonauts? I mean, literally Thor is in the MCU, so I'm right there with you. And they're not. But I don't believe that the superheroes are actually going to save the world. So I don't behave as if they exist. That's the difference.
With absolutely, like, they've been giving
I don't care.
Carte blanche to make the Star Wars universe whatever they want, in this sense, because again, like, it's not like they have to worry about, like, how will we write Luke and Leia, these two characters who already exist.
See, I've never even seen, I saw season 1 of The Mandalorian. But other than that, I've never seen any Star Wars property, and I understand this joke.
Let's take a look at this trailer. I want to hear what you think about it, and people in the chat, I want to hear your thoughts too.
I can skip the.
Close your eyes.
Close
your eyes. Can deceive you. We must not trust them.
Phantom Menace was the first prequel? Was that Phantom Menace was the first prequel?
Tell me what comes into your mind.
Drizzle.
Life. Balance.
Haha, see, I know stuff.
I see fire.
And I see rain. Damn, I wish I knew the rest of the words. I seen fire and I seen rain. I don't know.
Gotta watch out for that kid.
Is that Trinity from The Matrix? That was gay.
Someone is killing Jedi. It doesn't make sense. What happened? I said stop.
You did a thing. What you mean?
This isn't about good or bad.
I've seen sunny days. I thought. Well, there you go. Thank you. Thank you.
Power. And who is allowed to use it? What is that?
Yeah, Gontac saying, CMAS, they're not. And that's the point. These kind of stories have been around for so long, and they significantly matter in our society. There's a reason they're attempting to change our stories. There's a reason. It's on purpose. They decided to do a prequel to a prequel. Apparently.
Yeah, there you go.
I would sing it if I could remember the melody, but I can kind of hear it, but not enough that I could sing it, and I don't want to sing it if I can't remember the melody.
Acolyte.
Wow.
So I don't know. It just doesn't feel like Star Wars at all to me. It's been described, the series, as it's gonna be like a thriller mystery. So already kind of like, I don't actually have a problem with that in and of itself, but I don't know. I just feel like this is an example of Hollywood not being able to create anything. It can only destroy.
So again, then the onus becomes on us to decide where we're going to put our attention. There's definitely, it's not like they don't have metrics as to who watches this stuff. And I'm certainly not going to be, blaming anybody for watching this, that, or the other. I only just canceled Netflix, and it's still good for another week or so. But there are those decisions to be made. And so, yes, you can hate on Star Wars and Disney and all that stuff and say, oh, this is bad. But if you don't have, instead you should watch this, then you're just complaining.
Yeah, I am not a huge Star Wars person, but I sort of watch this stuff from the outskirts to see if there's any red flags that pop up. Of course, they're hitting their diversity quota with this movie, which can be done well. I mean, I just watched Dune 2. I feel like the movie had a ton of diversity in it, and it was sort of just a moot point. It wasn't something that needed to be emphasized. What's more concerning about this Star Wars stuff is what people are saying in the background. The showrunner is talking about the fact that this is going to be a queer film, and that's the foundation from which she's working on this film.
The foundation from which you're working on a film is queerness. Now, you'd think it's like, do you guys not want to make money? But it's the opposite. It's like, oh, we know what we're doing. We know you're going to buy this shit. Maybe you aren't going to buy this shit, but they're all going to buy it. And there's nothing you can do about it. That's going to happen. That's going to happen.
Amanda Stenberg, who is the biracial girl featured in the trailer, she's known for her huge activist, talking about cultural appropriation and blackness and queerness. So I can only imagine there's going to be sort of sprinkles and notes of that throughout this series.
Drizzle.
And that's something that I think is the main issue, rather than just, oh, there's diversity. Because, I mean, people say anytime there's criticism of a show like Acolyte, there are going to be its defenders saying well, people are just racist. They hate diversity. Fast and the Furious, one of the biggest franchises on the planet, extremely profitable, extremely loved worldwide, very diverse if you think about it. There are characters from everywhere.
And they're all family. Oh, no, we're getting a hungry dance. For just 99 cents, you can feed a poor little black dog.
It's never slammed as woke. Everyone seems to like it. The issue is not just people looking different. It's the messaging that goes along with it. Another example is The Expanse. That is a show that really went downhill quickly, but it's just another sci-fi show where you have people who look all different types of ways, but that's not what the show is about. There's a difference between having diverse cast and also let's talk about queer theory or like power balances or whatever it is, like then that becomes a problem.
Yeah, what do you guys think about, like, if a show is diverse in the sense that people look different, but it's not necessarily part of the story, or if it is part of the story, it's a part of the story that fits. Does that bother you? What I find is that the shows and movies that have done it poorly and have shoehorned everything in have created this priming where I'm looking for it. And so I have to consciously see, like, okay, well, there's diversity. Let's see if they're going to do anything bullshitty with it. And I don't want to think that way. I don't want to be, well, of course the white guy's the bad guy. Of course the woman can do anything. Like, there's plenty of strong female lead stories that I've enjoyed. There's plenty of stories with a white guy that's the bad guy that I've enjoyed. But you've ruined the ability to do that. And when you do it over and over and over and over again. I missed this one. What does it say? Any film said, that mean if I go see the movie and then somebody asks me how they was, can I reply, oh, it was queer? You absolutely can. You absolutely can. That's like the video where they dude goes around and he's like, is Lizzo a 10? He's like, is Lizzo 10? Like, yes, of course. Is Lizzo a 10? Of course. All these different chicks. And he goes to one chick and it's like, hey, oh, you're beautiful. So you look like Lizzo. And she's like, excuse me? Yeah, I wouldn't be happy about that either. That's what you get from lying. So, yeah, and once he's nonsense, I don't care. Well, he said, I don't mind representation in movies, as long as it has something to do with the story and isn't shoehorned in. Yep. If it's done poorly, and the story just stops just to take a knee and project some leftist nonsense, then yes, it bothers me. Game of Thrones did it well for a time. Fuck you, Dan and David. I mean, dilly to that. I'm gonna kill someone. I need to fix this so bad. I want my sounds. Ari, I'm blaming you. As soon as I went onto your stream, it stopped working. But what did she say? Lots of minorities in it. The ones that are changing the story, the ones where they're changing the story by casting minorities as characters is a little annoying. And I think they did the what I'm about to bring up. I think they did this one on purpose. Actually, let's get some suspense. I think they did this one on purpose. Because, I mean, if you really wanted to let's say, do a diversity, then you would want to create every reason for... Oh, shit. Hold on. Oh, God. Struggle streaming. Okay, where are we at? Okay, if you want to do diversity, I want to do a diversity, then you want to have the best version of that diversity. Romeo and Juliet, I think they did this shit on purpose, because I have no issues with a biracial couple. I have no issues. But that bitch is ugly! You're gonna tell me Tom Holland is gonna end himself over that? Nah. Ain't buying it. I'm just saying, not happening. Oh, Bridgerton, I missed that one. That didn't seem like it was necessarily in my wheelhouse, but what's it? Yeah, I was just gonna ask, what is it about? About a fake town, so there's no historical yes, I do remember seeing that. And then, yeah, like when in Game of Thrones, or not necessarily Game of Thrones, but even in what was it? The House of the Dragon, where they brought in black people, but they were just like, oh, these type of Targaryens are just black. And it's like, okay, that's part of the story. Like, now you've given me an explanation. There's a lot of shit that's made for chicks that I watch. Get me some Love is Blind, give me The Circle, give me some, oh, I love it all. Maybe not all of it, but, you know. Well, I always thought changing Aquaman to a Pacific Islander was a good idea. Of course, the Islanders would understand the ocean best, and they're next to the deepest part of the ocean. There you go. That would make sense. But turn it into, I don't even want to make the joke. I'm not even going to make the joke. Not even going to make it. Too bad they changed it in the movies, and Jason Momoa was saving Eastern Europeans. Missed opportunity. Yeah, and same with Black Panther. You know, because essentially is that Atlant? I forget what they call it, but you know, the underwater people. Why are they blue? Make them like that. That makes sense. Amongst the United States, Romeo and Juliet has been retold so many ways. It was done with an Asian guy and a black girl. West Side Story was a retelling. This is nothing new. But in which of those retellings was a choice made that's going to create a block for people to not be able to buy the story? Maria was hot. I mean, you know what I mean? I said the production crew was mean to Sarah from Love Is Blind because she said she learned conservative and considers herself a patriot. So lame, but that's Hollywood. You know, I signed up to be on Love Is Blind. I have a guess why they didn't pick me. I mean, I think I'm cute, but I get it. I didn't even drop the channel here. Give me 1 second. Yeah. Oh shit. All right, let me dive back in here. Hey, shout out to Fan Yang. Welcome to the party. Said roaming millennials have been here in the internet V-Day circa 2016. I have seen her in I don't know what this says.
And I don't know, I'm just looking at this trailer and I'm wondering, like, is anybody actually interested in this? Like, do the people behind the show actually care about Star Wars, or are they just looking to tell their own story and they know that the best way to get attention in a budget is to like cloak it in Star Wars, like a skin suit, so people at least are familiar with the IP.
And talking to skin suits, we were just talking about the Christians in skin suits. They can do it in religion. They can do it with feminism. They can do it with movies. They can do it wherever. But these people never care about basic human rights for males or the species to begin with. She's like, it's happening, guys. Take make-believe. Are you talking to us, or are you just doing your own thing? Just want to know.
Yeah, 100%. I feel like that's what they're doing with everything these days. Every time I see a bit of IP that I feel nostalgia for or love for from an earlier time in my life that's being remade, I just think to myself, I know this is going to be just an agenda-based creation. And
Christians, do you agree or no?
I think what these showrunners and writers are doing is they're starting off writing the story from the message that they want to promote to the audience. And it's never a message that is tied to deeper human truths or something about the human condition or adversity or friendship or love. It's, I want to tell a story about queerness or blackness or, you know, insert woke ideology here. And they create this massive project that tells that story throughout the through line. And then they just sort of wrap it in Star Wars or Marvels or Snow White. It's an afterthought. The actual original IP and what's at the forefront and the foundation of what they're doing is the
queerness. What's at the foundation is pushing the message that we want to push. We don't care about entertaining you because we know that you have nothing else to do. You have nothing else to do. There is nothing except this. And you're going to buy it because you're, as much as you love TikTok, as much as you love scrolling, as much as you love all of that shit, you want to get out of the house. Now, you don't want to do anything because you're a lazy Zoomer or whatever. But you're going to buy it anyway. Anyone says weird because I've been working on a new Romeo and Juliet with Zendaya playing Juliet and Larry Flint playing Romeo. Hey. There we go.
Thought the actual original IP and what's at the forefront and the foundation of what they're doing is the ideological message that they want to promote to their audience. And essentially, they are stealing your time and money. I mean, like, we work hard and then spend money to go to the movie theater to have a little bit of escapism and entertainment. And they're saying, no, we want to rob you of that and input a modern message into something that you feel nostalgia for.
That's the other part of it, too, is that, like, if you want to tell these stories, bruh. Like, why do you need to ruin a story that's already been told? Tell your story And then if you want a nostalgia bait, just remake the thing that already worked. Yeah, we got that one.
And it's just, to me, you're so shooting your project in the foot, creatively speaking, because like if we look at what timeless, films or series are, like the original Star Wars, there are themes, absolutely, but they speak to like deeper human experiences. That's why, like 40 years later, whatever, people are still interested in Star Wars. If you make your show or your movie about like the politics of the day, like these like little social issues that are really only politics of the day in specific like metropolitan cities and Western countries, like you are automatically dating and alienating so many people. Like are these issues
a little too far, Seabass. If it was about me, I'd be fine, but a little too far.
That are going to be relevant in like 10 years. And I even said that when, in 2016, a lot of people were writing like kind of like Trump characters or Trump-ish characters into their shows. And it's like, now we're 2024. Are those references even going to be understandable? Is it even going to be like, is it even going to resonate?
Well, not even that, but the attempt, unless Marvel was being super, super based for one project that most people didn't care about. In The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, it's the Antifa analog that are the bad guys in the story. I don't think they meant to do it that way, but it's completely flipped. And like they try to make you not commiserate. What's the goddamn word I'm looking for? Resonate. They try to make you resonate with the Antifa member. And like, oh, we gotta blow up everybody because this is our world now, and they got blipped and they're coming back, but it's our world. And it's like, bruh, it's not like they're illegal aliens. They already live there. They got blipped. They didn't fucking come across the Rio Grande. Come on. And they're just like, yeah, it's totally okay because we have it hard. It's tough out here. Sad. Yeah, great flick. What is the line? I forget it. But the business card scene, one of my favorites. Well, as future people will refer to wokeness in current pop culture with which was fashionable for a time. Yep. Hopefully, sooner than later.
Because you were choosing the most topical, most super.
Wait, I forget what you said.
Now we're 2024. Are those references even going to be understandable? Is it even going to be like? Is it even going to resonate? Because you were choosing the most topical, most superficial thing, and now your story sucks as a result of it. And it's going to live on like that.
100%. I sit here and watch movies these days or TV shows, and I'm thinking, what is the timeless classic of the 2020s? Like, what is going to withstand the test of time here? And I don't feel like any of them are. I feel like decades from now, we can sort of quiz ourselves by watching the movies and TV shows that are made today and guessing exactly what year, what month they were made, because they follow a very clear trajectory of just
Any film. Remind me to pull this up before we go.
Taking the movement or the ism of the month that it was created and just throwing it into the film and then giving it out to the audience.
So Dylan said, hey, American Psycho, written by a gay man, and the movie was directed by a woman. Hurrah! Well, I can't watch that shit. It don't work like that. Because at the end of the day, we have a good story. At the end of the day, we have a character that's developed. At the end of the day, we are able to connect and resonate with an American Psycho. I just watched The Matrix last night by the Wachowski bros. And I forget exactly what I tweeted. It was something along the lines of, it sucks that, all the Matrix references, it's a shame that Matrix references have become so cliche. Watching for the first time in a while, and it really is the perfect concept. Like, tell me where the analogy breaks. That the people in power aren't AI yet. The Wachows. Yeah, and where instead of them, those very people that came up with this it was a book, right? I don't even know. I don't fucking. But they made an amazing movie, and the sequels, at least the trilogy, Not bad, but compared to what we have today, great stuff. Instead of making a new story, we get super woke Matrix 4. And now we got Matrix 5! Do we really need 5? You cannot have 5 movies in the same franchise if you're not building a cinematic universe. That's the new rule. 4 movies at most. You can do a trilogy. And if you're really, all right, Matrix, you can do 4. But if you have 5 movies in a franchise, you better have a good-ass story to tell. That's my opinion. Honestly, it's crazy to me that Everything, Everywhere, All at Once was even made. Oh my God, dilly to that fucking movie. Were you at the watch party when we watched that? That was like my 3rd time watching it. But again, guys, that's another part of being a channel member. We do watch parties where we'll watch movies, and sometime over the summer, we're going to do a watch party contest where if you hold a watch party, you're going to get points. If you attend somebody else's watch party, you're going to get points. Whoever gets the most, it gets money. I think I'm doing 6 free months of membership. So sign up now. Sign up now. What is he saying? Surprised it was even made. Probably the most enlightening movie I've seen in the last 15 years. The message under the comedy is fucking brilliant. And not only is it brilliant, but it is so... It's just so in my wheelhouse. Because it's not even about like, oh, nihilism and yeah. You know, if your God is dead and, well, what is this all about and why are we here? And then it takes it a step further. And it says, yeah, God is dead. There's no reason to live. But we're here. So let's have a good fucking time. That is absurdism, and it is beautiful. There's never been a movie that explains the Buddhist philosophy in such an entertaining and great felt way. I completely agree. Completely agree. Yeah, and like I said, good is good. Shit is shit. Who's behind it doesn't change that. Or it has to be a horror movie. Fair. I can't believe Jamie Lee Curtis won over the actress who played the daughter. What? The daughter didn't do shit at all. What do you mean? Jamie Curtis played like 5 different characters. No way. She deserved every bit of that. Because Michelle, what's her face? The main character, the mom. She got awards, right? Because if you're saying over her, then all right, fair. But Jamie Lee Curtis killed that role. Killed it. I mean, yes, but I wouldn't even say that because you could. The message was there, and so that with a movie like that, that is the point. With a movie like Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness, the idea is to show how the multiverse looks, you know, this, that, or whatever. Oh, look at the colors, which I enjoyed that movie very, very much. But it was not Everything Everywhere All at Once. Not even in the same category. Movies like, not Annihilation. Shit, I forget what it's called. I don't know. But we'll have a conversation about you know, all-time great movies. We'll definitely have to do that. Now that I know you guys are a little bit more into pop culture than I had realized, we're gonna bring a little bit more of that in. If you didn't see the American History X video stream, whatever that I did, check that out. And if you like that, we will do more. Like I said, the dad was the best part of the movie for me. Reminded me way too much of myself. Yep. Sliding Doors. I don't think I saw that one. Who's in that? We're here.
Of just taking the movement or the ism of the month that it was created and just throwing it into the film and then giving it out to the audience. I don't know that any of these are going to withstand the test of time. And in fact, what we're going to be doing is looking at these remakes and just tracking back to the originals that were made decades prior and just going back to those. I don't know that we'll have a stamp of a timeless classic out of this day and age.
And that's so sad because I love cinema.
Somebody's mad. They didn't like my Benny Johnson. Oh, where is it? Come on. Oh. Do the thing! God damn it.
I love TV, and that's so sad because I love cinema, I love TV shows.
I said shit. Me too.
I want there to be good content. I know anytime I review stuff, I get people that are like, oh, like you just hate everything. Like I don't want to. It's like I would so rather enjoy a movie, like not spend 2 hours watching something that I don't like, but that's just kind of where we're at. Are there any shows or films you've seen recently where you actually are like, oh, okay, this is good. This is not just propaganda. It's entertaining.
Man, I did enjoy Dune too. I don't know if you've seen that. I thought that was a pretty good film, and I didn't see anything particularly concerning with that film. Honestly, I've been going back and watching like old school stuff that I love. I'm like watching Desperate Housewives.
Okay, now we're getting into some lady speak. Next thing, who was talking about the Joker in VC the other night? I don't know. I actually, let's peep the. Okay. So 2 things, real quick. Let's come back to this. Because I don't remember. Seeing this, but I'm going to guess that if you haven't watched Falcon and the Winter Soldier, that you don't care about watching Falcon and the Winter Soldier. There's nothing in terms of like what you need to know for the broader MCU or anything, but spoilers for a 1.5-year-old show. Let's see.
So, you have a new Marvel show for me? Yes, sir, I do. It's gonna be called The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Okay. What characters is it gonna follow? The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. That explains the title. Great work so far. Yeah, and so Sam is struggling with the fact that Steve Rogers left him the shield, right? So he gives it to a museum. Oh, okay. And Bucky's dealing with some government-mandated therapy and hanging out with his buddy, this really old guy, Yori Nakajima. Oh, that's cute. Whose son he murdered. Oh, my God. Yeah, well, he did it while he was brainwashed, and he's kind of building up the courage to tell Yuri about it as part of his recovery. So he's like trying to get over having been the Winter Soldier. Exactly. And so then the government names this guy John Walker as the new Captain America.
That's going to be interesting. When Thunderbolts come out, he's going to be part of Thunderbolt. That will be interesting.
Oh, I hate this guy already. Actually doesn't seem like such a bad guy. Oh, but he's such a bad guy. Okay. But he's not that bad eventually, kinda. But not great. Oh, I don't know how to feel about this guy, but I'm captivated. Anyway, so then we're going to find out about this terrorist organization called the Flag Smashers. Oh, what's their?
AKA Antifa.
Deal. Well, they want the world to go back to the way it was before everyone was snapped back, because everything's all messed up now. Messed up.
And so again, the parallel is that, hey, these people are or what the perceived parallel is, hey, these people are encroaching on our right to be here. Maybe it's similar to like a settler type of thing. But those people already live there. They just got blipped.
How? Well, this organization called the Global Repatriation Council are trying to get things back the way they were before the blip, because now people are living in each other's houses, there are refugees, it's a mess. And so what's their plan? Oh, well, about 20 of them have taken super soldier serum, and their plan is to get out there and go get it done. What?
Like Antifa.
They're gonna head out there, go get it all taken care of. I don't get what? Listen, sir,
they're gonna blow some shit up, okay? And you're going to be, we're going to frame it in the way that you're supposed to like it.
A vague plan, probably. I'm going to need you to get all the way off my back about what it is exactly. Oh, okay, let me get off of that thing. Anyway, so their leader's this surprisingly young lady, Carly Morgenthau, and she wears a mask and she's like mean, but you kind of get where she's coming from. It's just that her methods are questionable. Oh.
Kind of like how liberals think about Antifa.
Sounds a lot like that Enfys Nest character from Solo: A Star Wars Story. Oh.
And Antifa.
Yeah, I guess it does. Well, we'll make sure to make it different enough. Okay, good. Who should we get to play her? How about that Enfys Nest actress from Solo: A Star Wars Story? Oh, yeah, she's great. Good call. Great. So what's her deal? Why does everybody look up to her? Well, because she keeps saying things like, our movement is strong. Okay. It's time to make ourselves heard. All right. Is she like super charismatic or something? No, she just quietly says vague things, and everyone's really into that, apparently. Well, okay then. So what else is going on in the show? Oh, well, we're going to tackle some really important topics like racism in America. Oh, we are. Yeah, we're going to have...
Except you're going to go the wrong way, but works for me.
This whole storyline with this old African-American super soldier, Isaiah Bradley, that the government did tests on. Really heavy stuff. Well, yeah, important stuff to tackle for sure. Yeah, also Baron Zemo's gonna do a little dance. What? Well, we gotta balance out some of the heavier stuff with some lighter stuff, so Baron Zemo's gonna hit the dance floor. Okay, what's Zemo doing?
No, so what happened is the Flag Smasher people, this takes place after the blip, so all the people are back. So they've lived for 5 years, just like with half the population gone. So now the population has doubled. Which again, I think is supposed to, have some type of, maybe not directly like Mexican immigration into America, but that type of idea. But again, it's not one-to-one, and analogies don't have to be one-to-one, but it falls apart at the very first you know what I mean. At first criticism, falls the fuck apart.
In the show anyway. Well, Bucky and Sam realize they need his help, so they break him out of jail, and he's much sassier now. Well, great. Yeah, so they head to this city called Madripoor because they want to find out where the super soldier serum's being made. Right. And while they're there, they're going to meet Sharon Carter. She's from the movie. She is, and there's this mysterious person in Madripoor called the Power Broker, and we don't know who it is.
It's Sharon Carter.
Is it Mephisto? What? No. Sorry, I'm still a little riled up from the WandaVision pitch. Now, this power broker person seems to be a very influential person in Madripoor. They're pulling a bunch of strings. They have crazy access to stuff. Okay. Anyway, so Sharon Carter seems to be a pretty influential person in Madripoor. She's pulling a bunch of strings. She has crazy access to stuff. Oh, so Sharon is the power broker. What? No. I feel like with the clues you've laid out, though, it's not. Nobody.
So again, this goes to my theory that at the time, this I think was the second or third show. So this is the second or third project after Endgame, if not the fifth, if there was the Black Widow. At that time, they're thinking, oh, this woke stuff is working. And when that show did not do well, because WandaVision was, it was a girl and it was whatever, and it was a good show. So there was not so much blatant wokeness like that. And it had more of a vibe. It had more of it was more of a thing. It was more of a, it just had more character to it. And so everybody was like, okay, all right, this is the first thing after Endgame, so we'll see, it's all good. But then...
But he knows who the power broker is. It's pretty obviously her, though. Also, Zemo's gonna put on his purple mask from the comics. Oh, why does he put that on? Because it's gonna look good in the...
I was gonna say... the reason I brought that up is because in the show, yes, obviously Sharon Carter is the power broker, but it doesn't seem like they're going to go anywhere with that. So again, it seems like another woman that they were setting up to be in a big position, and they were just like, oof, I don't think this is working.
The trailers. Can't argue with that. And so the Flag Smashers, they start doing really intense stuff, like they bomb this GRC headquarters
like Antifa.
Place, kill a bunch of innocent people.
Like Antifa?
Oh. Carly straight up calls Sam's sister and threatens his nephews. So she's full on evil. Actually, we're gonna act like she's misunderstood. I don't know, seems pretty intense. Yeah, we're gonna act like she's misunderstood. You say so. So eventually her and the Flag Smashers are gonna fight against Walker and his partner Lamar, and we're gonna see that Walker's taken some super soldier serum. Oh, he has? Yeah, and one of Carly's people was holding Walker because their plan is to stab him to death because he's a symbol. But then Carly accidentally kills Lamar. Oh no. Yeah, so then Walker runs over to Lamar and the Flag Smashers, they all run away. Well, why don't they finish the job and kill Walker like they were trying to do? Well, because this part of the scene is over, so they scatter. Oh, okay. And then Walker gets all mad and he kills that guy that was holding him so Carly could stab his heart. Okay, seems...
That was pretty raw. And yeah, I mean, that's why it's I know you guys didn't do this on purpose. Because it is fucking based. Yeah, this little ragtag group of kids who don't have, feel entitled to the world the way that they want it are going around blowing shit up. That is Antifa. But you made them the good guys, and then the big whole thing is that somebody, I don't even remember what happened. They're just fighting, and then Sam comes down in his new Captain America thing. He's like, you gotta do better. You gotta do better. You gotta do better. We all gotta work together. And that's the end of the show.
Pretty reasonable. It's not actually, because the bad guy was down and a bunch of people were watching. Right, yeah, no, killing is bad, but Bucky and Sam have killed bad guys too, right? Oh no, they do for sure, but this guy was down and he was like, please don't kill me, so it's different. Maybe some of the people Bucky and Sam killed would have said that too if they hadn't died so quickly. I guess we'll never know. Because they died. Because they died, yeah. So then Walker gets fired as Captain America and he starts to make his own shield.
I wouldn't be surprised. And if they had one in this show, I would not be surprised.
I bet that's gonna come into play later. Yeah, no, not really though. It gets smashed immediately when he starts fighting with it. Right, that wasn't vibranium. I guess that makes sense. It's just kind of a metal circle, really, but we're gonna hype it up in a post-credit scene. Sure, why not? So Sam is gonna start training with the real shield, how to lodge it into things, how to make it bounce and come back. Yeah, how does the shield work exactly? Well, it works however I need it to in whatever action bit I'm writing. Okay, great.
That's even from the beginning, that's always pissed me off. It's like, whoa. First of all, it can cut somebody's head off, but you're just catching it? And it's like, all right, Steve's a super soldier. Fucking, what's his name? Falcon dude is just he's got a fucking Red Wing thing.
Great, that makes sense. So anyway, by the finale, the Flag Smashers are gonna have a pretty clear objective. Oh, they are? Yeah, they're gonna kidnap a bunch of GRC senators so they can't pass a resettlement vote. And so Carly sets a truck of hostages on fire. Okay, so we're done.
Like Antifa.
I'm trying to paint her in a sympathetic light, right? No, we're still trying. She's...
Antifa.
Okay. And get this, we're gonna find out that Sharon is the power broker. Right, yeah, I figured that out. No, you didn't. Who else would it have? This is a big twist that I wrote. Okay. So then Sam is gonna show up, and he has this new Captain America flight suit that the Wakandans made for him. Oh, he does? Yeah, this thing's great. He's fully protected, except the top of his head where his brain is. Oh, protecting everything except your brain cage is tight. And so Sam's gonna have to save a helicopter full of hostages. Oh man, it's gonna be tough for him to take out the pilot and make sure the chopper doesn't crash. Actually, it's gonna be super easy. Barely an inconvenience.
Missed it.
Oh, really? Yeah, it turns out one of the kidnapped senators on board that very helicopter knows how to fly the helicopter, so she takes over. Oh, hey, yeah, that worked out great. It sure did. And so eventually,
your real life character is a tap dancing little girl with a shoulder launched tactical nuke.
Carly's gonna be trying really hard to kill Sam because she's a sympathetic character, and then
well, yeah, I mean, some of them do have the super soldier, which super soldier serum, which is how they're able to do all of this stuff. But that's exactly it. The show is legitimately, you just heard it. You just heard it. He's not. This isn't some political channel. This isn't some. This is a screen pitch. Is this from back in the day when it was? This is on Screen Rant. This is before he even had his own channel. This is part of the Screen Rant company that, if anything, would be woke versus based. And still, it's so obvious. And so again, I just feel like you can't not realize this. You can't not realize that people are hating this. And so when we see different shows that probably were gonna suck getting cut down, and movies getting just deleted. Remember Agatha, whatever that was gonna be, gone. Echo dropped in one day. I'm just saying. I think we at least can have a little bit of hope. At least. It wasn't a movie, friend. It was a whole ass show. I think it was how many? Falcon and come on. It was how many episodes was it? 55. It was 6 episodes. 6 hours. 6 hours of content here. 6 hours of content, and nothing happened. Why would they do that? Unless they were already starting to change course. So I turned off this 1960s show about fighting Nazis as soon as they said a literal current year line. It's not enough to be racist, you have to be anti-racist. Stupid. Wait a minute. In the 1960s they were saying that? Okay. That was like, wait. Yeah, okay. Yep. Definitely messy. Messy AF.
Sharon's gonna shoot her dead, so it's very sad. Is it? And then Sam's...
Is it though? I'm not saying we should kill Antifa members, but is it though? I don't know about that.
A sympathetic character, and then Sharon's gonna shoot her dead, so it's very sad. Is it? And then Sam's gonna carry her body because it's definitely a sad moment, and then he's gonna talk to some senators. Oh, he is? Yeah, he's gonna be like, stop calling the flag smashers terrorists. Well,
even though they're fucking terrorists. Like Antifa.
I mean, they literally used violence and intimidation against civilians in pursuit of political aims, which is, the definition of terrorism. Ew. Sam's gonna tell them to not say that, and then he's gonna keep lecturing them for 4 to 5 minutes. Okay. And one of the senators gonna be like, okay, but logistically, what are we supposed to do here? And Sam's gonna be like,
do better.
Do better, Senator. Oh, that does sound like it's gonna help a lot. It is. Wow. And so then Sam's gonna make sure that Isaiah's story gets told. Nice. And then Bucky's gonna go talk to Yuri and tell him what he did to his son. Oh, it's gonna be nice to see how that plays out. Then we cut away. Oh, yeah, we get out of there fast. Kinda wish you let that moment breathe. Nope, I'm already gone before we even get to see the moment I've been building up to all season.
Welcome back.
And then during the end credits, we're gonna have the title card say Captain America and the Winter Soldier. So that's
because he's not the Falcon anymore. Oh my god. So shout out into film. I did want to see that. But I haven't seen, I forget who brought up Joker. Did you know that they have Joker 2? And it's going to be a musical. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I've seen, I saw this video talking about it, but I didn't see the actual trailer. So I figured that we should do that. Dylan says, what does do better mean anyways? Your truth, brother. Your truth. Whatever you want it to mean. It can't be bad, right? It's better. That's the shortcut. It's just let's not actually say anything. Shout out to Dylan's over on Kick. Welcome to the party. Good to see you. We also got Camcast in the building. Good to see you. So Joker's good. Joker 2 will be ass. I don't know. We're gonna, I like I said, I saw a breakdown, but I haven't seen the actual trailer yet. So I figured, since we're talking all this pop culture, we can end on that. Are you going to cover Jones' situation and bring up race into it? I have no idea what you're talking about. Dylan says my name fits. Thank you. I very much appreciate it. And even so the last part was, how come they're still calling Bucky Winter Soldier? He's also no longer the Winter Soldier. Good question. I mean, is the Winter Soldier specifically the brainwashed one? Or are we just saying like he is that guy? He just is not doing that. So we're gonna play this, and we're gonna end on this. So actually, what I'm gonna do is it sounds cooler. I actually like the idea of Joker 2 being a musical if done right. That's why I want to watch this. That's precisely why I want to watch this. The idealistic world from Crazy Arthur's mind can work if they play up the psychological aspect of it. Spot on. And so before we do this, I want to give a big shout out to our comment. Oh, we got two. I didn't realize I picked two. Dylan's like the first Joker movie. Did you see the trailer for the second one? I'm about to play it. It's again, I've heard about it. It seems cool, but I want to get my own opinion. I definitely like the first Joker movie as well. I didn't think that I didn't think I was gonna like it as much as I did. Oh, you're German. Only know the dubbed actors. I feel like that takes a lot out of it because Joaquin Phoenix and his cadence and the way that he delivers the lines is such a big part of the movie. I would say, specifically for because I hate subtitles. I'm not fucking reading TV. But Dylan's for Joker, just for Joker, I suggest that you watch it a couple times so that you're familiar with what the dialogue is, and so that you've heard it. Then watch it in English with the subtitles, so you already know kind of what they're saying, and then you'll get the full effect of this god tier actor. That's my suggestion. But okay, so you guys pick. We got two potential comments of the night. We got one from M169. So we can thank the boomers and those who came before them that drilled into us that politics and religion aren't to be discussed. That's number one. Or we got our boy Indie Film who just put us on to the trailer where Marvel was like, "Hey, Antifa, you're great." Which one should we go? While we're doing that, let's shout out Indie Film for the drizzle. Let's go. Thank you so very, very much. And of course, the sponsor of the stream, Unwanted Foe. As always, coming in hot. Showing the love, blessing your boy. God damn. Dylan says, dude, I think I'm doing good in English, but it still sounds like work. I hear you. I definitely hear you. When it comes to, on Netflix, if I'm watching something that's, Korean or whatever, if the dubs aren't, on point, I'm not doing it. I hear you. Let's see what you guys are saying. So, we got 2 votes for M169, the comment of the night. Dilly to that. Guys, thank you so very much. I am already in the after party. Guys, if you are a member of the channel, click the link that Unwanted Foe and Nick just dropped. Thank you guys. And you will get instant access to the entire thing. Even if you're not a member, click the link, it's free. I just realized even the content suggestions channel is free. I meant to block that out, but hey, whatever. So, join. We got the free chat, we got current events, we got content suggestions. You can be part of the conversation. But if you want to be on screen with me and everybody else, make sure you join as a member and come through. Shout out again to M169. Thank you, guys. I really do appreciate you. Let's check this out. and head to the ad. Where is it?
Tell you what's changed.
With this scene, this is very clearly not real life. So they're very clearly leaning into, yep, Dylan's, the copyright. I mean, I don't know. The other night, Ari was covering my shit, and she played the entire scene from 8 Mile, like at the end. And she's like, what do you mean? I never get claimed for that shit. I had a 3-minute video from when Candace Owens was on The Breakfast Club. They claimed that shit. YouTube hates me. But, yeah, so this is very clearly, they're leaning into the psychosis. Oh, shit. Giving M169 a run for her money with the comment of the night. Oh, man, that's a good one. But yeah, I like what I'm seeing. All right, we're back in good graces. They're not telling me is a beautiful shot. That is a fucking beautiful shot. You're goddamn right. And it's this is that's the point, motherfucker. He's not an anti-hero. He is the villain. Whoo! Yeah, don't say. I must admit, him and Gaga fit together. That's an interesting. Let's see. Do we have a shot with them? Let's see. Get them together. Ah, perfect. Look at that. Dawn says, I must admit, him and Gaga, they fit together. I don't necessarily have many opinions on her. But I think this could be good. Isn't she following comics with Harley Quinn falling for the Joker? Yes, assume so. I don't know if they're going to make her a doctor or just a patient. I'm glad that they kept that rather ambiguous, but it kind of looks like I don't know. And that, if you're going to do nostalgia bait, this is what you want to do. Don't just retell the same story, but put a chick in it and make him gay. Do something original. So I think it's gonna be cool. I'm glad to hear that you guys are a little bit more into pop culture as it pertains to the stuff that we talk about. I'm definitely going to fold that in more. This conversation about feminism, where from two women who are opposed to where feminism is going. Again, not something that we're going to talk about all the time, but I thought it was an interesting perspective to see as as someone who maybe is a little salty or maybe not, but feels like there's a little bit of I'm an outsider in the conservative movement, as as women have been traditionally protected by feminism on the left, and now that feminism is going the other way and erasing them, it's interesting to see. So let's grab some of these and head to the after party. We got that one. Yep. The Joker, Jack the Ripper, Vlad the Impaler, same guy. Goblin said, I almost wish this could have been its own movie without the Joker title. It kind of takes away from the seriousness of the mental illness. I disagree. I think I think they did it perfectly. I don't think. I mean, not that they can't lean into the story elements of the comics too much in this. That definitely could happen. But just based on the first one, I think they nailed it. But we will see, guys. Thank you so very, very much. And again, thank you to Unwanted Foe and Indie Film for feeding my dog. I love you guys so very much. Make sure you head to the after party, and if it's your first time here, make sure you hit that subscribe. I have been your host, Lutch, aka the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Until next time, guys, we are out of here. Peace.